evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the 23-24 Gridiron Queensland SUNBOWL. You've got myself here, Chris Bradshaw, and Shane Prosser in the box this evening. A few technical difficulties to start the day, but the Stingrays and the Raptors are out there having for the toss. Shane?
Wonderful. We've managed to get down on the field just before the coin toss, Chris, and speak to some of the coaches. The Raptors, Coach T, he was telling me today that the thing they're looking for is they had a good week of practice. They're really looking for their players to really display a lot of heart. They've had a lot of roster turnover throughout the year, and a lot of rookies that have really surprised themselves. And offensively, they're really looking to try and run the ball today behind number 3 and number 1, especially off tackle. And defensively, they're going to be led by number 11, Hunter. They're looking to make sure that they can large blocks to help spring number 19 for the run there, especially Hunter down here on the side, bottom sideline around the 20-yard line. Absolutely fantastic block.
I've got some GQ rumours around Hunter. We can maybe come back to in the next play.
Okay.
Some good rumours. So we'll see the Raptors come out here in a spread formation. I formation.
I formation. We got number 3 in at fullback with number 1 in at tailback. Two people that Coach T really highlighted to us pre-game, and something we've seen from the Raptors all year, is this very strong run game.
Yep, and that's a good, strong run up the middle for about 7 yards. So it'll give a short 2nd and 3. I imagine they're probably going to go back to the ground here and just continue to pound it through, because it keeps the ball away from that Stingrays offense and, lets them control the clock.
Yep. So here the Rays come out in a 2x2 spread formation here, so 2 receivers to each side with big number 3 in the backfield. Lennox Samoa, and that is a fantastic hit and tackle. Great job there by the Stingrays D.
There you go. That was one of those early call-outs, 31, Denver Eastwood, coming through, putting a big hit in.
It's not often we've seen this year where that Raptors running back has been hit in the backfield or even dropped on first contact. Lennox Samoa, he is a monster with the ball in his hands, especially when he gets running.
So we're looking at, after that loss of about 4 or 5, we're looking at about a 3rd and 6 here. In the under center again in the I formation, the run fake and a bit of a rollout, the speed option, and he's found some room with some arm grabbing tackles, and that will be good enough for a first down and about another 6 or 7.
Yep. Beautiful first down. It's really the key to this Raptors offense is hitting you with the fullback dives, the leads, and then looking for the boot play action pass game, or the QB key. It's really the Stingrays defense are really going to have to stick to playing their assignments and reading it out as the play goes.
They're definitely going to have to make those early tackles as well. The hand grabbing isn't going to do anything against these big backs. Oh,
for sure. And we know Stingrays defense of old and this year, they're very aggressive. They do like to blitz, send 6, play cover 0. They will have to pick and choose their spots here tonight.
Yep. Here we go. 1st and 10 from the Stingray, let's say 35. I see him hit in the backfield, but he's, as Shane here said, managed to make the first guy miss the first couple of times, and he's good for about 3 yards. Just as a side note, Stingrays number 23, Griffin Pepiat, appears to, it's just on the sideline holding the shoulder a little bit. Hopefully he's all right. We'll try and get an update about him later on if we don't see him on the field. So we'll see here about 2nd and 8 for the Raptors offense, coming out under center again in that I formation, run heavy formation. Let's see what they run with.
Yeah, we got like the Stingrays defense. So they're running what appears to be like an under front defense. So they're kind of.
And he's found a big space to the outside, and he will be a good solid run. Probably about 11 yards out after this. Maybe a optimistic, or not a generous spot.
Yeah, but we look like we're about the 17.
Yeah. I can't.
The 13. We're at the 14-yard line. Excuse us. We got a couple of beams in the way into our area, and we are completely wrong on the spot, Chris. The ball is at the 7-yard line.
Oh, well, there you go.
So they're inside the red zone here. But as I was saying, the Rays like to run this under front defense. So they have their 4 defensive linemen. They'll slide those to the weak side with an outside linebacker off the edge, and if they can execute those down blocks onto those 4 defensive linemen and use their fullback to kick out the sandbacker on the line, they could have some great success running the ball outside.
Well, I was just trying to actually see a replay of that. Was that a weak side run?
I believe it was. It could have
Yeah.
been. It could have been.
So
No. I think it was strong side because
Oh,
it would have been the strong side because the sandbacker was to the strong side.
So once again, talking about it, Raptors getting hit in the backfield, but still finding a way to make some yards. We're looking, just waiting for the spot here, looking at about 2nd and 7. 2nd and 7 from...
Oh, no, we are way off.
We are
blind, Chris.
We are blind. Sorry.
The ball is at the 12.
The 12.
There we go.
Yeah, and we're looking at about 2nd and 7. Team, that end of the field is a little harder to see. And we've got a flag on the play, or just an early whistle.
It'd be false start here.
Yeah. So go back to Football 101. False start is that everyone on the offense has to be set for at least a second, can't be moving, and if someone flinches or something like that, the referees will throw a flag. The offense goes back 5 yards, and we repeat the same down.
Yeah, correct. So we as long as they're if they're on the line of scrimmage, they cannot move. If they're off the line of scrimmage, they can move laterally. One person can move laterally or backwards. We call it that being in motion. But once a player is set, they cannot move forwards or make any sharp movements that would suggest to the offense that the player has started.
Yeah. And, playing on the line, both been there. It's always usually a pointing and accusing game between the O-line and the D-line.
Oh, for sure. Especially on a night like tonight, Chris, where it is the SUNBOWL, it is the finals. There is a crowd. There is a lot of noise. It is very hard, unless the QB is quite loud in their cadence. Okay, to make sure that you really hear what they're saying.
Yeah, we're in the I formation, and we'll see a handoff up the middle. He finds some space, and
that's a lead for a touchdown, Chris.
It is, yep. Stick to the game plan, and it works.
It's exactly what the Raptors coach said to us pre-game.
Yeah, we're in the I formation.
Play with heart.
And we'll see a handoff up the middle. He finds some space, and
that's a lead for a touchdown.
Almost say he was short there.
It looked to me, Chris, that they used the 3 technique, the defensive lineman's body, and rolled over the top.
Okay, fair.
Very close. Doesn't look like his knee actually touched the ground, but let's see if the Stingrays do elect to challenge.
Yeah. Doesn't look like there's too much action on the Stingray sideline here, so they're happy with it, and we'll see the Stingrays come out here and I'd imagine go for 2. Not too many field goal kicks or extra points happen in the juniors division.
No, that's
see the odd one, but generally they'll go for the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, well, Chris, as you know, I am a fan of
the analytics. In the I formation.
The analytics say you'll need to be successful.
And we'll see a handoff up
for the 2-point conversion instead of kicking the field goal.
Yeah, I reckon. I've had the Tim Redshaw, the video official, not an official review, but he's called it. Yep. So I think we may see the officials intervene here.
There's a question of whether they can, Chris. There's been a penalty. It may be too late.
Yeah, and they've been marched back 15 yards. So
15.
Missed the penalty on that one.
I mean, from that situation, it can only be an unsportsmanlike, Chris, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. So here, the analytics would be against them getting 16 yards on a 2-point conversion, but let's see how it goes. Receiver out in motion to the right,
and it's going to be a false start again.
Yeah.
So I mean, here even the extra point gets tricky. We're at the will that be
probably the 21-22?
21-22, making it a close to a 40-yard field goal. When we have to include the length of the end zone being 10 yards as well.
Okay. I can't think of too many 40-yard field goals I've seen kicked in GQ, that's for sure.
That is true, Chris, and it is quite surprising considering the number of kids we get cross codes from AFL or rugby league that have kicked the ball, but of course that the American football is a different ball with a different sweet spot. It is a slightly different kick. So I wonder if we get the same motion here from the Raptors.
Yeah, the same formation set up.
There it is. I wonder if we're going to get the shot here to the slot receiver.
Well, it looked like he wasn't quite ready for the ball there. Well, dances around a little bit. He's throwing the ball, and that's been picked off by the Stingrays.
And now they could return this with 2. He's still up on his feet. That's a great job.
He's found the edge. He might be able to do this here.
He could go.
Oh, and he's... One would argue that's a long way to run for 2 points.
And we got another flag here.
It's a little bit of late action after he stepped out, maybe.
Yeah, I wonder what's going on. I mean, with this being a finals, Chris, we have a full 8-person crew. You really cannot get away with anything. You have to make sure you're playing very cleanly in between the whistles, because with 8 referees, it is very, very hard to get away with absolutely anything. And of course, as we've already mentioned, we do have Tim Redshaw up here in the booth on the video with his assistant, Richard Prater, as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Just waiting to see the officials having discussion here. There was no flag on the play. Oh, no, personal foul on the Raptors. That's going to send the Stingrays into even... No, sorry, my apologies. It'll be on the applied on the kickoff.
Yeah, so it's going to... So it means that the Rays offense...
No, so it was an offsetting penalty. So there was penalties on both sides of the...
No.
Oh, sorry.
No, we are marching back, Chris.
Yeah.
We are kicking off from the 15, which means that the Stingrays will start with the ball in excellent field position.
Yep, unless the Raptors kicker here has an enormous leg. He is a little wiry, but...
With the first kicks anything to go by, Chris, I think this is going to land at about the 30-yard line.
We'll see the kickoff by the Raptors here. Yep, and pretty accurate, but it's taken a pretty solid bounce for the Raptors, having to come back to return it. Number 21 for the Stingrays, looking for some space, but finds nothing but a wall of Raptors defenders.
Yep, and that was Marcus Toafilau on the return.
You know, did what he could do, held onto the ball, and got back there. I mean, that's a pretty good result for the Raptors. Lacking a score board on the screen at the moment, but that makes it 8-6 Stingrays.
So now we get the good look at the Raptors defense here for the second drive. We see how they respond to the Stingrays after that first drive. I'm sure number 11, Hunter, he's going to be barking orders left, right, and center over there, trying to get his team organized, make sure they hit their gaps correctly, and set them up for success.
The referee's just holding up the play for a moment. We'll see the Stingrays here out in their spread formation. That Mason Field's in motion across the formation, turning upfield, and the play has been blown dead. So one would assume that's probably going to be another false start or some backfield penalty.
Usually a neutral zone infraction here, Chris. See which way it goes.
Just trying to get a look at the referees here.
Okay, It is a false start.
So that will send the Stingrays back another 5 yards and make it a long 1st and 15 to start off with.
So they're backed up here, Chris. So the ball on the 15, you'd like to think they look to run the ball here, try and create some positive yards and get some distance between them and their own end zone.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're the Raptors defensive coach, you're looking to send some pressure here?
I think you just got to play disciplined here. I think you really got to try and limit your mistakes and take advantage of theirs.
We'll see Hearn putting Mason Field into motion, throwing the little swing route, I guess you'd call it, to Field, finds some space, beats the first man, does not get past the second, but that's a good pickup of 14 yards. So, you know, one play, make a player miss, you know, you get another 10 yards.
That's exactly right, Chris. And the Raptors
putting Mason Field into motion, throwing the little swing route, I guess you'd call it, to Field, finds some space, beats the first man, does not get past the second, but that's a good pickup of 14 yards.
Just coming up short, we got 2nd and 1. Look for Hearn to keep this here.
Here's the coach's notes coming in, Hearn to keep it. We see here one running back in, spread formation as of the standard, and it's a inside run to the running back, and he is gobbled up in the backfield well and truly. Nowhere to go.
I tell you, Chris, though, if he would have kept that, I think he would have gone all the way.
We'll have a look at the replay and see what the coach's points say. In the backfield well and truly. Nowhere to go. We don't appear to getting a replay. We've got a new Hearn coming back in with the play. We'll have a look at the replay and see what sorry, just a bit of a disconnect between the live play and what's going on. See Hearn here back in that spread formation, 4 wide receivers, so 2 by 2, 2 receivers on each side. Hearn just stands, delivers to Field, makes a move, and hangs onto the jersey just. And that would be good for about 6 yards. So elusive.
Yeah, beautiful call. I mean, it's hard to go wrong there. It's an absolute offensive staple of just all slants, sometimes called double dragon, two slants each side. And really just looking to win, see who wins inside leverage there, Chris. And I mean, if I was her, I'd be looking at Mason Fields too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just kind of easy money.
One thing to note there, Chris, if we take a look at pre-play, we saw the Rays offensive line really start to communicate out, pointing out who they're looking for, really looking to pick up that Raptors pressure. It's that veteran communication that's going to allow them to pick that sort of stuff up and give Hearn time to deliver the ball.
Like you see, he's got a lot of time to get that ball off. He's got a good second or two just to look at his reads and get that ball off. And he's probably got more time actually in reality. I mean, that's a Stingrays offensive line that's been together for a while. I know, lost a name, but they're a big unit. They've been together for a fair amount of time, and the Stingrays lines have always been traditionally very strong.
Oh, absolutely, Chris. And I think we saw some of these young men represent the Queensland SUNBOWL earlier in the last spring. Down at the national tournament in New South Wales, where we obviously came away national champions. Take with that what you will. And I would expect to see more of both players on both teams to be out in trial for the Queensland tackle and flag teams over the course of the spring.
Absolutely. So, see a gain of about 6 yards there. So it's going to give us about a 3rd and 4 from the Stingrays 41. There's a big contingent from both teams that represented the Sun Devils. Things along the way. Come back to after this play. We'll see the Stingrays offense come back out in that 2x2 formation. They haven't really shown much else so far. I guess they haven't needed to, but we'll see what they're going to bring out here. Field in motion again, just looking for that dump off. Pressure came, but he's too quick to make the move on the first guy. Makes the second man miss and is caught up in a big pile, and it's sort of rolled on for a little bit. It'd be interesting to see where the spotters here.
Yep, we get in the first down here, Chris, with forward progress for sure. It doesn't matter. Is this going to be on the 44, which it is. But we saw there the Raptors defender come up, really force that edge. He did dive a little. We had the second one also force the edge and try and force him in. And we get to see the Raptors' pursuit that they do so well flow across and look to make the tackle. They really just need to bring him to the ground there and finish the play off.
Yeah. I mean, the scheme's obviously there to what to do for it. It's just executing it now.
Oh, absolutely. That's football, Chris.
Absolutely. So, see Hearn receiving the ball, looking, and he is taken off with that QB run. And he is dropped by number, I can't quite see because he's surrounded by his other players, for a gain of about 6. Good solid tackle. Brought him down quickly.
Absolutely. And an interesting call there by the Stingrays offensive coaching staff for the design QB lead run there. It's not often we see that in this league. Normally it's a more zone read or speed option type schemes or the Q taken off on a scramble. Yeah,
trying to look after him a little bit, not take those big hits up the middle.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's really just trying to stop the Raptors from really chasing that edge.
So you see Hearn rolling out here, throwing to none other than Mason Field, and that will be good for the first down.
The Rays are really doing a great job of attacking the space so far. And as Coach Keegan said, it is all going through 87. We wonder if the Raptors defense will make some adjustments to try and take him out of the game schematically.
Yeah, it's even trying to take him out schematically with his athletic ability is challenging.
It's hard, and they move him around a lot, put him in the slot where he is hard to double. So here we see he's at the top of the screen, sort of on the left hash there. No one on him besides a deep safety. We get him in motion. Wonder if we get a little screen here.
Nope, and they're going to QB roll out or run to the outside, QB sweep, and that'll be runs into a bit of contact on the sideline, and that'll be enough for a first down. Didn't shy away from the contact, could have stepped out just short, but...
Well, I believe our side judge our head linesman having short.
Runs into a bit of contact on the sideline, and that'll be enough for a first down. Didn't shy away from the contact, could have stepped out just short.
It looked like he got the first down on me, Chris. Maybe he just stepped out of bounds before extending the ball.
Quite possibly. And the one thing to remark, particularly about both of these squads, is the size of some of these juniors. like you get down on the side of the field with them, and you realise how big some of these guys are. It's pretty incredible. So we see here field in motion again, a slightly delayed inside run, and bounces off a couple of Raptors defenders, and good for about 19 or 20 yards. Will take them into the red zone.
The Rays are really doing a great job of mixing up their play call and attacking the Raptors through the middle.
Slightly delayed inside run, and
to pick your poison there.
Bounces off a couple of Raptors defenders, and good for about 19 or 20 yards. Will take them into the red zone. It's a tough offense to stop, right? I mean, I think that's, the Stingrays juniors offense over a number of years have been like that, just high-powered, hard to stop. With, Taj Borden when he was the QB, now Ashley Hearn taking over the reins in the last 2 seasons.
It's been great to see. They do a great job of developing their kids.
Absolutely.
From the youth level up to the juniors and then through the men. So we see a helmet come off here.
So Elijah Rivers, helmet coming off, so he's going to have to come off for a play.
From the youth level up to the
a bit of wrestling going on. It's just kind of right up the shoulder and popped off. Stingrays fans are a little upset with Elijah Rivers' curricular activity after the whistle, but there appears to be a flag on the play. So,
I mean, the referee has to call that there, unfortunately. I mean, but as a defender, it's hard not to finish the play. Really feel for the young man Liku there, who's a defensive tackle for the Rays.
Absolutely.
From the youth level up to the juniors and then through the men. So we see a helmet come off here.
Yeah, it's a necessary penalty, just unfortunate. So Elijah Rivers. I've just been informed probably before the last play. It's about a minute to go in the first quarter, or less than a minute now. So we'll see here a first and about 5 for the Stingrays in the Raptors red zone, looking to go up by 2 scores. 8-6 the current score to the Stingrays. Hearn dropping back, throwing over to Mason Hearn, and is good for 6. Connection's going to be pretty powerful. 8-6 the current score to the Stingrays. Hearn dropping back, throwing over to Mason Hearn, and is good for 6. I imagine they were going to. That'll put them into that 2-score territory for the Raptors needing to come back.
I was expecting them to attack top of the screen there, Chris. They're doing a great job of attacking away from the Raptors' overhang defender, and they have the weak side safeties off about 10 yards. So 8 is a space for that slot there. I wonder if they make, from their too high shell, I wonder if they make any adjustments at half.
So here we have, get the ball in the hand of your athletes. A bit of a, I wouldn't say a trick play, but an exotic play to field the ball on the run. But well stopped and well read by the Raptors.
That's it. And they're going to need to do more of that on their next defensive series to keep the Rays offense out.
They're going to have to make some adjustments because. They've got to, even if they can get a couple of stops in, that's going to help them.
Yeah. Making that stop there was huge. Keeps it a 1-score game at just 14-6.
Yeah, you've got to imagine, from the Raptors' perspective here, they can't afford to get down by more than 1 score. It's, not the type of offense for them that they're going to, score, 60-yard bombs, that type of thing. Well, not saying they can't, but, from what we've seen this season.
Well, you say that, Chris, but we've seen both teams put up over 50 points in the semi-finals, so we've seen both teams are capable of putting up big numbers.
True.
However, I do think it is a challenging opposition, and we again see Hunter on a special teams absolutely execute his block. Perhaps a question of whether or not it was unnecessary or away from the play, perhaps a little jaw in there at the end, and we see Mr. Stock throw a flag.
Yeah. Number 19, Mitchell Engel, a little unlucky there. Unlike the NFL, if your knees touch the ground while you've got possession of the ball is whistle dead. So, the traditional, rugby league catch of getting low, getting the knees down, unfortunately doesn't work too well in this game.
Yeah, unfortunately that is an unsportsmanlike conduct on number 11, whose name we have called a few times, Hunter's Harris 1. Unfortunate to see that. I mean, we do know, it is a semi-finals. I am a big fan. I'll let them talk. As long as it doesn't turn into ridiculous actions or anything super derogatory. I think we let them jaw a little bit. It is the finals after all.
There's good-natured banter, and then there's the line, and there's nothing wrong with a bit of good-natured banter. We'll see here, run up the middle for the Raptors.
Yep. And Athletics, Samoa, again at the middle. He, as you say, he is a Baron, but once he starts getting ahead of steam, Chris, he is tough to stop. I wonder if the Raptors will do anything to get him in some open field. And as we see, it is the end of the quarter, so we are now just going to switch ends. The players will have a brief opportunity to grab a quick bit of water. It is not a timeout, as I am often frequently reminded by the officials.
I think at this point we'll interject with some of the notes that we have to cover across the games. Gridiron Queensland, along with the other states, have been working towards the National Contact Champs that will be happening post the SUNBOWL. Trials for the Sun Devils men's, women's and juniors are to be announced. And what is really exciting as well is that the North Queensland have their own team that is going to be entered into the Nationals this year, the Erikanji. Reliably informed by the GQ president himself, they'll be playing South Australia and ACT. The men's and junior Sun Devils potentially games against New South Wales, Vic and WA. Women's games to be confirmed, I believe.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see the ladies and the juniors play similar opposition. I believe, Chris, letters to invite people to trial will go out in the next 3 weeks. But I tell you, as part of the Queensland men's Sun Devil coaching staff, I cannot wait for this year's Nationals, particularly to play WA. I'm sure you've seen, Chris, we've dubbed ourselves national champions. We beat everyone that turned up to play, so that's what it is in our book.
Absolutely.
But WA, having won the last quote-unquote official national championship, still believe they are national champions. So I think that is going to be an absolute spicy matchup that I cannot wait to be a part of.
And a few ex-Queenslanders who are now in WA claiming that WA are the national champs as well. So
yeah, shout out Kel.
All right, we'll see the Raptors offense come out here in that I formation again. You can see
Here we go.
Oh, reverse around.
Reverse here.
Find some space, and he's just trying to see what's going down on that corner. There's a couple down injured. Kind of ran to the man, not to the space.
Yeah, and it's just a testament to the physicality.
Oh, reverse around.
Reverse here. Display.
Find some
space. They're not looking to shy away from contact. They're looking to run through. And we see there the Stingrays player on contact seems to get a little stinger.
Just trying to see what's going down on that corner. There's a couple of
Mitchell Goodman. Yeah,
number one, Giovanni Stowers Alamani, one of the junior Sun Devils reps. With a strong run.
And he is someone who the Raptors coaching staff highlighted as someone to look out for on the offense today. But Chris, it's not just tackle nationals that are coming up. Of course,
the new hotness.
It is the national flag championships coming up. I believe we get the great honour of hosting that here in Queensland on the 4th and 5th of May at Ballymore. And it's my understanding, Chris, that the women's trial is on February 17th and the men's trial is on February 24th. So
that is correct.
If you're interested, get on down to that. Obviously, flag is now an Olympic sport as of LA 2028. You could be working towards representing Australia at the Brisbane Games, perhaps in 2032.
Absolutely. I think one of the things, it's been a big thing over the years for our club, being one of the clubs that first, got involved with youth football, that 10 to 13-year-old age groups. It's been really more about the carnival atmosphere and getting kids involved in football. There will actually next year be an official competition with the SUNBOWL played at the end of the year, which is really exciting for the kids.
Oh, and that's absolutely true, Chris. We can see many Raptors and Stingrays players that have aged up through the youth program and have now gone on to play in the juniors and even the men's. And it's a testament to any club who's able to transition a player from youth right the way through to the Opens division, be that men or women. Really sets a strong foundation. Is exactly what our sport needs to continue to emphasize to do to allow us to move forward.
Absolutely. Just through that, shot downfield by the Raptors, just a little out of reach of the receiver. One more thing, if he could have pulled that down, he might have been away to the races. It's definitely cool seeing the kids come up from these 10 to 13-year-old, age group, coming into juniors and, like dominating.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, at our own club, Chris, we have young Cameron Hansen, who spent a couple of years at the youth level. And that is an unfortunate drop there by number 1.
Yeah.
Bit of space, he could have made something happen.
So we're going to see a long third down here for the Raptors. They're going to rule that incomplete or a
young
catch?
Cameron Hansen, who spent a couple of years at forward pass.
Yeah.
So we're here for the Raptors' unfortunate drop there by number 1.
Yeah.
Bit of space, he could have made something happen. QB boot. And with the QB run game, I'd be surprised to see any kind of interior run, particularly against a stout interior Stingrays defensive line.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they might try and take that shot again. It was open, just couldn't quite get the ball. We'll see. It's kind of a big point for the Raptors here this drive. Can they answer back after that last touchdown? So we've got a timeout taken here.
No, just a delay a game.
Oh, my bad. So that's going to march the Raptors back another 5 yards just to make their job a little more difficult. Tell me something, Coach. Have you got probably a good 10 yards here, 4th and 5? What would you do? Would you punt it or would you consider taking a shot?
I think in a one-score game, Chris, in a final, it's going to come down to how good your punt operation is.
Fair.
If you have perhaps not a lot of faith in your long snapper or
Samoa up the middle, found some space, running backwards. Got a guy hanging on, and the second effort coming over the top is going to make the tackle.
It is a well-coached Stingrays defense. They are playing
Samoa up the middle, found some space, running
backwards.
When Samoa cut back, we saw them all continue the
Got
field.
a guy
hanging on, and
the second
effort coming over the top is going to make the
I don't
tackle.
think we've seen the Raptors punt many times at all this season. As I mentioned earlier, Chris, they have had a very strong scoring offense, having put up over 50 points multiple times this season.
So looking here, are they punt? Yes, they are. It's a little unconventional punt formation. Straight to Mason Field, looking for some space, makes some moves, misses the tackle around the ankles, and he's found a little edge, and he's Hunter in with a big shot. Big shot. Did some damage, but he kept going.
And looks like he just got knocked out of bounds there about the Raptors' 30-yard line. So again, great field position for the Stingrays. Offense, they're really winning that field position battle right
looking
now,
for some space,
with that penalty.
makes some moves, misses the tackle around the
ankles and
really helped contribute
edge.
to their success.
Hunter in with a big shot.
Meaning that the Raptors
Big shot.
have very little margin for error. Otherwise, they're going to be giving up points.
Yep. I've got to say it's all well and good going for the big shot, but you kind of got to wrap those tackles up too.
I think if you're going to live by the sword, Chris, you're going to die by it too.
Indeed. So we get to see the trips formation that we talked about here. 3 receivers out to the right. Hearn looking and completed to our man, number 87, Mason Field.
That's it. I feel like this has been the Hearn Field show to start the first half here, Chris. The Raptors defense are going to have to do something to impact that partnership if they're going to have any chance of stopping the Stingrays offense.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about here. 3
Feels
receivers
very
out to the
reminiscent
right.
of last year's
Hearn
SUNBOWL
looking
early,
the Hearn to Field show.
Completed.
It's
Two.
interesting to see if there's our man, number 87, Raptors in there.
Field.
With the
I
Rhinos last
feel
year
like
coming
this has
back
been
to win that
the
game.
Hearn Field
I think the Raptors defense held up pretty well there, and then sort of Fields just popped out the side and, got a bit of pressure onto Hearn, but and we see the 2-point conversion.
Again, they make a stop on a 2-point conversion. I think it's their pass coverage game is really where things starting to break down for them a little bit. I wonder if they're playing some slightly different coverage than they have the rest of the season. I thought they're more of a 1-high team earlier in the year, but it seems they're a bit more 2-high today, which could be having a bit of an impact when you only have a couple of practices to practice a specific coverage or make adjustments for this game, which are necessary.
It's an interesting one, though, because you don't want to come out and show the same thing you've been showing all season, right? But
Here's an interesting one, Chris. The ball here is forward on the tee on the kickoff.
I reckon they're going for the onside.
No, I think it's just an unusual kick.
Yep, that is an unusual kick. Bit of a short one. Stingrays coming down. Just finds a little bit of working his way up. He's going to return it to about the 35. The Stingrays.
I think the Raptors are going to have to maybe have a little word with Hunter over there. He's a passionate kid, plays a little hard on his sleeve, and it's coming through.
Yeah.
But it's getting close.
I'll return it to about the 35. The
Stingrays being someone who could be a target for the officials with the behavior in this early game.
I mean, if you're looking at two unsportsmanlike,
that's it.
I'm not speculating that that's what it is, but, you start looking at, is he going to see out the game?
That's it. And you can see he's demonstrating to his teammate that he had him between the chest. I mean, when you play to the whistle, it's very hard for other players to perhaps take.
So, yeah, we'll see the penalty go against the Raptors. 15-yard penalty. It takes them back 15 yards, but it's still 1st and 10.
That's it.
Yeah.
Interesting that it was a face mask call. And it does look like perhaps the Raptors coach is challenging the call that it was a face mask.
Yeah, so we've got Tim Redshaw here, the video official, giving some commands to our producers and directors behind us, trying to get the right view. See if we can get some insight as we go along. These penalties can be, a big thing if you can get them overturned.
That's it. And the key with this, Chris, is that it has to be clear and undisputable evidence that the call on the field was not the correct one, which does make it difficult. Obviously, we are GQ. We have plenty of cameras here, but we are not quite the mammoth that is the NFL that we see on Sundays. So we may not necessarily have the 100% correct angle, but we'll do the best to make it. Tim will make the best call he can with the angles that we have. But as I said, unless it is clear and undisputable, it's unlikely to get overturned.
I think we might be getting it up on the stream here. Where are we looking down here? Sort of the middle of the field.
No, go back a little bit further.
We're looking at about the 40-yard line, around about the hash mark here.
Yeah, interesting. It's like he's had a good swing of them, but don't know if it's actually on the helmet or not there.
Yeah. Maybe just at the very end there, Chris, but it does look like there's a bit of a wrestling going on before.
You almost think with that force the helmet's going to come off.
I can't see anything to overturn the call.
Tim Redshaw, the video official, cannot see anything to overturn the call, so the call will stand.
That's it, Chris, and it does bring us back to that very important point that in order to overturn the decision, it does need to be clear and undisputable evidence. Obviously, with the angle there is a little bit cloudy, so hard for Tim here in the booth to overturn that.
Yeah, we're all looking at it, speculating, seeing probably different things at the same time. So, yeah, so it's the right call from the officiating crew. It's really to get rid of those egregious calls.
That's it. And an interesting time to use that call, I would say, because that does now mean that the Raptors have now lost their right to challenge. I wonder if that's going to come back to haunt them later in the game, Chris.
It's only for the half, right? They get another one in the second half.
I don't believe so.
Oh, really? I'll have to check.
We can check in with our rules official and get confirmation on that either way.
Yeah, I thought you got 1.5, but I could be wrong. So we will see the Raptors here with 1st and 10 from their 20. In a spread formation, 2 receivers either side, Samoa in the backfield. Handoff to Samoa, to the outside, stopping, turning back inside, and finding a little bit of a
Bit of a lane.
A bit of a lane. That's the word I was trying to think of. And, turned a play that looked like it was going to be a 3 or 4 yard loss into about a 7 or 8 yard gain. So
yeah, that's right, Chris. And Samoa is surprisingly shifty for someone of a bigger back. He really catches defenders by surprise with how fast he can stick his foot in the ground and kind of on a dime.
And played QB against the Bears juniors a few weeks ago and did a pretty reasonable job there as well.
He did. He is a all-over-the-field athlete. I wouldn't be surprised if this game starts getting close in the second half again and the Raptors defense continue to struggle. For him to make an appearance on that side of the ball too.
Yeah. Put the guys with ATH next to the name on the field.
We get a little speed option here. The QB elects to keep with a little cutback. He's got the first down, hangs onto the ball.
Yep, it's going to be good for probably about a good 18 yards there, at a guess. So move the sticks. Sorry, not 18, another 10 yards. And moving to the Raptors 40. So, creeping onto Stingrays territory. Big drive, this one for the Raptors. They have to score here, one would think.
Yeah, they need some kind of points here, I think.
Yeah.
If anything else, just for morale.
Yeah.
To already get them back in the game. And they're also going to get the ball first in the second half, Chris. So if they're able to score here, make a stop, and then score on the first possession of the second half, it's back to a pretty even ball game. It's going to get close. We get a shot deep.
Just not quite in sync with those sort of deep passes. I'm thinking Kazoya New York Matthews was previously the QB, out injured.
Could be.
Yeah, I'm
pretty sure?
stretching my knowledge here, but I'm pretty sure he's played QB for the Raptors juniors for a number of years. So, was it 20 Jet Jones in at QB at the moment? Maybe not as natural thing. But still doing a pretty good job of it.
I thought it was Villamy.
Sorry, you are right. Yep, you are right. My bad.
NQ. And we get the ball back to Samoa. Yeah, positive yards. He is a tough back to bring down.
Yeah, absolutely.
You think if you're the Raptors here, you continue to ride Samoa here for the rest of the half, or for at least a few more plays in this drive to really set the tone for the rest of the offense.
Yeah.
Before going back to Giovanni.
Yeah, absolutely. Griffin Pepiat again at the bottom of Samoa. I think he's going to feel this game, every inch of this game tomorrow.
So, and what the Stingrays do on defense, they do a great job of coaching tackle levels, so making sure that they're not looking to hit up around the shoulders. And here's the ball to Giovanni on that counter. They do a great job of wrapping up and filling up.
And what do you know? Stingrays on the other side of the ball. Number 87, Mason Field, making the tackle.
There you go. He's done it both ways, Chris.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I was saying, as displayed by Mason Field there, they do a great job of their tackle levels. They're not just tacking up around the shoulder pads that we often see from some inexperienced team or inexperienced players. They do a great job of what we call, shoulder through the thighs and driving for 5, that Seahawk tackle style, making those roll tackles and really driving their legs through contact, getting their shoulders on to around about the hip area. Makes it hard for the runner continuing to running.
Oh, absolutely.
Even against a big back like Samoa.
You can see the I formation here, rolling out to number 3. Samoa gets the catch, and I think he's going to be... Oh, this is close.
We have one official marking
on the line and one just short.
Even against a big
near
back like
official, the one
Samoa.
marking
You see the
short.
I formation here,
I suspect
rolling
that
it up.
is short.
To number 3, Samoa,
Gets the catch.
and I think he's going to
It
be...
does look a couple of inches short here, Chris. I'm not sure we're going to get one. I think it is going to be Stingrays.
Yep, first down Stingrays.
And going back to that challenge, Chris, this may have been a slightly better use of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it'd be interesting to catch another replay of that just to see where he did those knees went down where the ball was. Oh, absolutely.
Even against a big back.
Tim Ridshaw over the shoulder as well here, just to
Rolling
see
it
where he's
up.
come down.
Clinch.
Can't really tell from that angle, but I think that's probably a good call by the officials there. He was well. Gets the catch, and I think he's going to be... Yeah, you could be right there. So see here, the Stingrays, 37 in motion.
Isn't it often we see the Stingrays deploy a tight end, but they have done so here.
Hearn throwing out to 37, and he has put that down. Number 37 being Cooper Chapman.
That's it. Just a little slant flat combo there, Chris. Excuse me. for the Stingrays there. Just reading that inside out.
The kicking himself is probably thinking about getting that ball and the move he's going to make upfield.
Well, we've got an injured Raptor on the field. See if we can get a number for you as soon as we can.
It's 23.
Oh, excuse me. It is a injured Stingray.
Oh.
The shadow did me dirty.
Yeah, it did me too.
So that is Griffin, who's been at the bottom of a bunch of Samoa piles. Has been making a lot of tackles for the Rays defense. They'd be hoping he's okay and able to go in a couple of plays.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the shoulder or the arms come right as well, which is a good sign. Or had come right, which was a good sign. Now, just looking to hope that he's okay and he can finish this game out.
Yeah. And shout out Joshua Perrin out here as the medic tonight. You'll see him playing in the men's SUNBOWL tomorrow night for the Bayside Ravens as well, but he does it all for the GQ League.
Absolutely, he does. Speaking of SUNBOWLs, your first SUNBOWL as a Bears head coach, did you think it was going to be with the women's side?
At the start of the season, yes.
Previous, the 4 years that you've been coaching with the club?
When I first joined the Bears, probably not. But do you know what I said to the ladies last night, Chris? It has been an absolute wonderful experience coaching the ladies. It's helped me be a better coach, a better communicator, making sure I really explain the why behind things. I thought I did a pretty decent job of that anyway, but it really does get emphasized when coaching women. And we have a great bunch of ladies, as do we all across the league. And it is very encouraging to hear, Chris, that the league is working towards getting a fourth team.
Indeed.
In the league next year amongst clubs. So, who's it going to be? Are the Stingrays perhaps going to bring back a ladies team? Is it going to be the Brisbane Rhinos? Or perhaps even the Sunshine Spartans?
Yeah, I mean, I think, all the women's players will be excited by that. It just means more games for them this season as well, or for next season.
Oh, absolutely, Chris.
So we'll see the Stingrays out here in their 2x2 formation. Right tackle barking orders on the line. Fields with some space. Looking the option pass. He's come back and made the catch. And that would be good for about 9 yards. Play broke down a little bit, but still pretty effective.
Yeah, Chris, I wonder if that was a design call for the pass there. It was just supposed to happen a little bit earlier.
Come back and made the catch.
Great job either way of keeping the play alive.
For about 9 yards. Play broke down a little bit, but still pretty effective.
Yeah, Chris, I wonder if that was a design call
for
the pass there. It was just to move the down marker closer to that first down.
Yeah, it kind of felt a little ad hoc. So I'm wondering if it was meant to be sort of that reverse run around and so, oh crap, I've got to get rid of the ball and hey, there's someone open downfield.
For sure. I need to see the replay to see how he was gripping the ball to see if it was tucked high and tight or
field in motion. That again, Hearn faking to him, finding a little bit of space up the middle, and that will be good enough for a first down.
Yeah, we do have a flag on the play. It did come at the snap, so I do wonder if that's an offside call or perhaps an illegal shift of some kind.
You've got to wonder if Field was moving forward at the time of the snap of the ball. Illegal formation. You're hearing from...
So perhaps one of the Stingrays were not on the line or breaking the center's belt line in order to allow them to have no more than 5 in the backfield, Chris.
Absolutely.
So now this now makes it a slightly longer third down, a third and about 6. I wonder if the Rays will use a hard count here to get it closer back to 3rd and 1.
It would make sense.
We haven't seen them go on utilize that hard count yet. And they have been successful with that throughout the year.
So for those at home, the hard count is most of the time, like the cadence is like, on 1. So it's like down set hut. A hard count could be like, we're not going to move no matter what noise the QB makes. Or it could just be like hut, 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 or something like that to try and get the defense to jump.
We got another illegal formation, Chris. It looked like, unfortunately, young number 17, Nicholas Lunis, was not on the line of scrimmage. Always a tip for young receivers to always just look to the sideline. If you're supposed to be the one that's on the line, if you're the outside receiver, if the official has their arm extended, it means you are off the line. And if it is down by their sides, it means you are on. Just a little tip for the young receivers out there, because the officials are not obligated to tell you whether or not you are on the line or not. But they will signal.
I think there's sort of a bit of controversy in the NFL during the season with those offsides as well.
Shout out Kadarius Toney.
So, back to, I guess it's a 4th and about 8 situation. Sorry.
Okay. The Raptors declined the penalty, making it now 4th down.
Bold call.
We did hear the Stingray shout for the punt team, but that does not mean it is not necessarily a fake, Chris. It would not surprise me in the slightest if the Rays have been practicing all week for a situation like this.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a midfield. You're up by a couple of scores.
That's it. And take a little look at who the punter is, Chris.
The man.
Mr. Mason Fields. We wonder if he's going to take off.
We wait with bated breath. Oh, and he's going to put foot to leather, and that ball will be left, and it's going to take an amazing roll for the Stingrays. And that will be spotted, I'm going to say, the Raptors 2.
So it starts to beg the question, Chris, is there anything Mason Fields can't do?
That is an excellent question. I mean, we've seen him ball, catch a ball, make a tackle, punt. What else would you like to see him do?
I know, I might make a request at halftime to see if we can see him snap.
Sounds like a good idea. So we'll see the Raptors' offense here under a huge amount of pressure. I would imagine the Stingrays are going to send plenty of pressure up the middle to try and stop that Samoa, middle run and try and make them work out of this end zone.
I think we can absolutely expect the blitz from Griffin and who's the other linebacker there? 31. Eastwood. Pretty much guarantee both these are going to hit the holes.
They're still standing fairly deep at the moment.
There we go. Creeping little QB.
Samoa bounces to the outside. And
great tackle around the legs there. He's kind of just about gets back to the line of scrimmage. Does well. We saw those backers there, Chris, start to creep during
fairly deep at the moment.
One of my creeping little QBs.
Samoa bounces to the outside.
Great tackle around the legs there. It's just so hard to get. Just about gets
fairly deep at the moment.
Increase your chances for tackles for losses, turnovers, etc. All good things defense.
Or just catching a slow lineman.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So they come out in that heavy set again. Sort of looking at with that I formation, almost with a tight end, a tight receiver. We get the counter to Giovanni, who does have a bit of an edge. Perhaps a holding call there by the receiver, not called. Oh, no, there we do have some laundry on the field, Chris. It does look like that holding by the Raptors receiver. It did get picked up. So unfortunately, I think that one's going to be coming back.
What do you reckon? Do you, Stingrays here, do you decline the penalty, or do you take it? It's half distance to the goal, if I'm not correct.
You Stingrays have to accept this, because otherwise the ball's
Oh, sorry, my bad. Sorry.
It's okay. That's why I'm here, Chris.
Yeah, I know, right. It's been a long day, sorry.
It is unusual, Chris. It is for us to be at the SUNBOWL on a Friday evening. We should probably talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, obviously, with the split season this year and the challenges of the Heat being unable to play all games on one day, we have the fantastic opportunity to have a junior Friday night game, which very much resembles high school football in the US.
Yep.
So great to see these young men get to have that Friday Night Lights experience.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great venue down here at East. Nice field to play on. It's a good memory for anybody that comes down and plays here, really.
Oh, absolutely.
You're going to see the QB take off with the ball and maybe make it back to the line of scrimmage again.
Looks like he's got dropped for a loss of 2 there, Chris. So it's going to be about 3rd and 10.
Oh, my bad.
It is absolutely a great venue, Chris, here, as you said. Do encourage anyone listening at home who is not already in the stands to get down here tomorrow for the women's game at 4 o'clock and then stick around for the men's game at 7. Of course, if you cannot make either game, both will be live streamed, the women's through our friends here at Collingwood Sports Brisbane, and the men's game will be on KO.
Yeah, you'll have to listen to my sultry tones again against the men's game. The Raptors making a few yards here on this play. Number 31, Eastwood, in making the tackle. With the yeah, Coach Craig Baker, coach with the Bears now, had spent a lot of years at the Stingrays. Had the answer to one of our questions about Mason Field. Is there anything he can't do? He said, he's like it's like his old coach. He can do anything. So
we're yet to see young Mason Field drop a pass. So
yeah, it's going to be a great day of football down here tomorrow afternoon.
we got about a 4th and 5 here, Chris.
Tough place to punt from.
It is. Anything can happen. The operation wise.
Yeah.
The punt is, real close to the back of the end zone. Oh, we're moving back. Okay, so this is going to be tight. So wouldn't be surprised if we get a lot of pressure from the Stingrays here in an attempt to try and block this kick.
Yeah.
We don't, but it goes right back up in the air. Looks like the Stingrays will get the ball at around about the 26-yard line.
It's tough spot to be in. That snap came out of Raider Knots as well. He's only just managed to pull that down to get the kick off.
And it is an interesting punt formation, Chris. It does look like they're just lined up in a traditional spread 2x2.
Yeah.
We used to call that like a QB quick kick. Surprising we're not seeing more Stingrays pressure to try and block that, just because the snap operation is so close. And after that play, it does bring us to the 2-minute warning, Chris.
Yep.
So you got to think the Stingrays are going to be looking to try and punch this ball in before the half's over.
Yeah, absolutely. Me known more as the shotgun punt, something Tommy Corwin for the Wildcats and the Thunder employed a fair few times. You'll see the Stingrays here out in their 2x2 formation. Imagine they're going to go to Fields here, take a shot, but let's see what happens. No!
We get
Hearn
QB lead with Hearn. Breaks the tackle. Is outside.
Breaks another one and will spin in out to...
Looks like it's about the 15. The final side officials, anything to judge by. But it does seem like we have a bit of a conversation going on. And a flag on the field. Oh. That is a lesson for every young man out there, or any gridiron planner, is to never pick up an official's flag. They are very protective over them.
Even when it lands in your helmet.
We have holding on the Stingray, so they're going to come back 10 yards.
Hearn, strong runner as well. Breaking tackles. Every time he's running the ball, we've got some stardom in the box here. President James Carlishaw and Queensland state flag coach Liam Price.
I don't know if anyone can hear that. We're gonna get Mr. Carlishaw on the mic now.
That
should be an intentional grounding call because the ball did not get back to the line of scrimmage.
and there's the flag. How is everyone? Hope everyone's enjoying the stream.
I believe they are, James. Great to see the event that GQ's been able to put on and secure a fantastic venue such as East Rugby League club here, and it's great to see the stands packed as well.
It is, yeah, plenty of people here today. We've got some corporate boxes in. It's fantastic. Looking forward for tomorrow for the women's and the men's SUNBOWL events as well.
So, and I got to say, we have a great view up here in the commentary booth. We're surrounded by the PA booth, and we've got great views of the screen, scoreboard, and everything else as well. We get the Rays back out in their Trits formation, 3x1. We got Fields as the middle receiver. Look for him to go deep here.
Hearn rolling out, throwing the ball, and did Fields get a hand to it? But definitely almost looked like it was picked off.
Looks like it was a drop pick, Chris. Just fell out of the hands, I think, there of the Stingrays defense. The Raptors defensive back, who will be kicking themselves to not take that ball away.
Yeah.
You'd really think that the Raptors need to make a stop here before halftime and not allow the Stingrays to get another score on the board and make this a 3-score game. If they can keep it a 2-score game and then come out with the ball after halftime and score on their first possession.
That's almost best case scenario, right?
It absolutely is. Allows them then to get back in the game. And like the Raptors coach said, these kids need to go out there and play with a bunch of heart. And that's what they need to show now.
Stingray is taking a timeout here. I'm actually going to pass off to Mr. Price here. Can talk about the flag trials coming up.
So, Liam, we mentioned on stream earlier that we have the honour of hosting the Flag National Championships on the 4th and 5th of May at Ballamore. We've got the women's trial on the 17th of February and the men's trial on the 24th. Those trialling, what can they expect when they turn up?
He's lost for words.
Yeah, I am lost for words. I mean, I've literally just been handed a microphone and told to talk. So, no, we're really looking forward to the tryouts this year. We know it's going to be a real hard job selecting. We've got some amazing talent here in Queensland in both our men's and women's. Really looking forward to the tryouts. What the guys and gals can look forward to is that it's going to be a lot about fundamental training. So we're going to run them through some flag drills, and then we'll get straight into some 1-on-1, 2-on-2, and 5-on-5 scenarios.
Fantastic. And you'll be aware of a lot of the players anyway, Liam, because we had the Battle of Brisbane 2 last week at the semi-finals, which was an absolutely great event. Great to see so many games going on at once. As we see the Stingrays come out in their 3-by-1 formation. Maybe we can get your thoughts on the Battle of Brisbane after this play.
Sounds great.
So we're getting that flood concept. They're taking a deep shot one-on-one. 17 does a great job of coming down with that in double coverage. He's sending a tackled inbound, so the clock is moving, but we've got a couple of flags back at the line of scrimmage, so suspect holding here. So while we're waiting for the official's decision there, Liam, talk to us about the Battle of Brisbane and how good an event that was.
Yeah, it was a fantastic event, and it was particularly awesome for it to be the first event in Australia that I've known about anyway, where it was great to see the flag community and the gridiron community at one venue. So it was great for both sports to shine a light on one another. But again, it was awesome to see such a step up in the quality of competition. Everyone came away feeling like that was probably the best ran tournament we've done here in Queensland, and the athletes keep just stepping up. People are really hungry to play flag football here, so it's fantastic to see. Great to have people coming from interstate to come compete. Hoping to see even more, and hopefully some more international teams can come later in the year.
That's it. And I know, Liam, that the people that I've talked to that participated in that event in some form or another said how great it was. So looking forward to seeing more of that on the future. And it was holding for the Stingrays on the previous play, as we see this sprint out flood game for the Rays, and we do get a late hit on the quarterback from the Raptors defender. So this should be a personal foul with an automatic first down. I think the only thing that may be in question here is that does it qualify as a targeting call? Was there a element of head-to-head contact? The officials seem to think not. So if you're at home watching this game and thinking, how can I support gridiron in Queensland? Perhaps you're not a player or not someone who wants to coach or referee. You can help us financially. We do have 2 funds available that you can donate to and help this great sport continue to grow in this country. We have the Gridiron Future Success Fund for flag and tackle, which is really to help support our young athletes into exit pathways, be that to colleges in the States, pro overseas, or even the Olympics. Chris, welcome back on the mic.
Thank you. Sorry, it was also a mouthful. Yeah, absolutely. You can probably find them through the GQ socials, and we'll see field scoring again.
But we do have a flag, Chris. This could be another holding call. I think I did see the umpire Nige do signal, and the white hat does confirm. So that score is taken off the board.
Yeah, as you said, 8-man crew, you can't hide on those lines at the moment. Like, you know, a lot of the games we've had this year, we've had 4- and 5-man crews where, you know, there's probably people get away with a little bit more on the lines and that.
That's it. It's effectively and literally double the eyes on the offensive line with the referee and the centre judge, I believe, looking at the offensive line, looking for those holding calls, looking for those late hits on the quarterback, those flags that can be so easily missed in the trenches.
Absolutely. Sort of talking about the Stingrays line, really interesting watching the right tackle, Wiramu Williams, just always looking back, communicating to his QB, communicating to the rest of the line what he's saying. I know he's one of the kids that has been around for a number of years. I'm not sure if he's a youth product, but definitely been in the juniors for a few years. He's really showing leadership across that line, pointing things out, communicating with the QB.
Oh, and you really need that on the offensive line, Chris, as you know. Whether that be one position, whether it be the center or a tackle or anywhere across the line, there needs to be some ownership, there needs to be communication. Otherwise, this is where protections and run game breaks down.
Absolutely.
And we do get a timeout here by the Stingrays.
I imagine that would be, to stop the clock, but also having number 40, Elijah Rivers, be able to put his helmet back on and keep playing. Rules in the IFAF rules that we play under, if a helmet comes off, you have to go off the field and stay off for at least a play unless a timeout is called.
Correct. The only exception to that, Chris, is if your helmet comes off as a result of a infraction by another player, such as a face mask. And the other fund that is available for you to donate to help grow the game here in Queensland is, of course, the Women's and Gridiron Fund. That's to help us develop programs and engage our young women in this great sport and help continue to grow the women's game community from the youth level right the way up to the Opens. You can donate to both of those on ASF Sport, which does make it tax deductible.
It does indeed. So, a good way to get rid of some money at the end of come tax time and get some money back.
So I should probably throw a legal disclaimer out, Chris, that we are not financial advisors. To consult your own accountants.
Hearn dropping back, throwing over. Sorry, Shane. Makes the completion and is run back about 10 yards.
Against Fields on that 10-yard dig, but did a great job of wrapping him up there.
The offense, I mean, a couple of flags, brought things back, but Raptors seem to have made some adjustments.
Yeah, they do, and they're really hanging tough, showing a lot of heart, as we've spoken about, as being one of the Raptors' keys to success. If they're able to keep the Stingrays out here, they're going to have to be relatively happy going into halftime, considering the position that they're in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The 20-6 scoreline would be great for them. That's a good shot.
Tackle by Harris. Hunter. Hunter Harris won.
Yeah, great shot. Well, I love the enthusiasm that the kid plays with. Plays hard the entire time.
I really hope he comes out to Sun Devils this year for the juniors or the men's program. I think he's going to be potentially eligible for either, but he would be an impact player on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are hearing that there is 9 seconds left in the half.
Cool.
So we're expecting one, maybe 2 plays. One if it's incomplete or out of bounds immediately. 2 if it's incomplete or out of bounds immediately. Or 1 if it's a sack or completed in bounds, of course, not counting any timeouts called.
Absolutely. And, Raptors here will be ultimately not looking to give him any more points, but if they can get a turnover and, make some magic and score some points, that'd probably be a good result for them.
That's it. And we're seeing the safeties drop a little bit deeper. They're closer to the goal line than they seem to have normally been. Seems to be some issues with the sideline.
Kind of sometimes worry with that, sort of playing a little too soft and maybe giving someone like Field just a little bit too much space to run in.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it comes down to the trust in your technique,
Yeah.
and the matchups, the game within the game, so to speak, Chris. Like, how good are we tackling in space versus their athletes making us miss in space? I think the Raptors may look to get in the face a little bit here of the receivers. Perhaps try and disrupt some of the timing that's been on display between Hearn and Fields.
Just waiting to see what the call here is from the officials.
What do we got?
We may have a review, or they're checking the previous play here. So,
well, we are inside 2 minutes, Chris, so all penalties can be reviewed and at the discretion of the video judge. Of course, our video judge today, we've said his name a few times, is Mr. Tim Retchell. Countless years of experience in officiating here in Gridiron, Queensland. And is even seen this year as the referee for juniors and men's games. Not something we've seen in previous years, and I'm sure it's not something Tim wishes to continue to repeat. So And we do need some new officials in the game. So
Absolutely.
if there is something that you're interested in or have some curiosity about, we do have official development courses available. Just contact your nearest club or contact the GQ page and get involved, because without the officials we cannot play this great game.
What are we looking at here, Tim?
Looks on about we're looking for where the chains are.
Oh, we're looking for the spot and the chains.
Yeah.
Yeah, just while that's sorted out, going back to the women's fund, but also women's football. I know we kind of said it before. It's so great to see women's football back. Especially having a team at our club. It's been interesting to see the influence that they've had on, you as a coach, but then also the influence on some of the other the juniors and the men's and stuff like that, bringing a different dynamic to the club.
Yeah, I think that's just one of the great things about football, Chris, is that it brings people from many different walks of life, backgrounds, religions, races, gender, sexual orientation, whatever it may be. And you put them all under one roof or one field, so to speak. But on practice, you get this great melting pot, great community feel. And that's it's not at individual clubs. That is felt league wide, and it just kind of shows everyone that there is a space in this game for everyone.
Yeah.
Regardless of your size, your gender, your athletic ability, whatever the case may be, we have a role for you. Contact your local club, get involved. If tackle's not for you, give flag a go.
Yeah.
We have roles for everyone. But to get a little bit more specific, Chris, it is great to have ladies at our club and a women's team at our club, because it does help us develop our men's team, our juniors team and youth team, and our coaches, because we all learn to be better communicators. We get to see things from a different point of view, and let's get back to the action.
We're going to see here Hearn dropping back.
17's open up the seam.
And that will be caught for a touchdown.
And that is Nicholas Lonis for the touchdown.
Come up with two fairly clutch catches in the back half of the second quarter.
Absolutely has. Especially, he's more than made up for that penalty, which wiped another big play off the board where he was off the line. But yeah, he looks like a tall, leaner type, which is well suited to receiver. Great to see him go out there and high point the ball. If I had to take a guess, Chris, he may have been a former AFL player. We do see players switch codes. Our league is littered with former rugby league and AFL players and other codes, soccer, whatever the case may be. Come across to here, be successful, and have a great time doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Even to some of the old blokes that have come down that have played AFL for years and come down and fall with the love of the game, and I'm not coming back to AFL.
That's it. Shout out Matthew Wilson, the 48-year-old punter.
Field there just short on the 2-point conversion.
That's it, making this game 26-6. The Raptors do still have a chance in this. This isn't the end of the Raptors, but they are going to have to come out with a strong showing in the second half with a lot of adjustments specifically to stop that Stingrays offense. And with that, Chris, we are heading to halftime. Any departing thoughts?
No, I think Stingrays are well in control of the game. I don't think it's out of the Raptors' realm of possibility of coming back. I've seen it before, but it's going to take a hell of a lot of work and probably a little bit of luck too, I'd imagine.
Yeah. I would say for me, the Raptors need to find a way to disrupt the Hearn-Fields connection, whether that be through pressure or a change in coverage. And then offensively, I think they just need to get back to their roots. Run the ball, continue to be physical, continue to display the heart that they've played with all year. And then back on the defensive side of the ball, really make sure that they set those hard edges and tackle well. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, making those first up tackles is going to be huge. With that, the score is a 26-6 to the Stingrays. My name is Chris Bradshaw. Shane Prosser in the commentary box with me. We're going to take a short 5-10 minute break. We'll be back for the second half shortly. welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, to the almost second half of the 2023-24 Junior Gridiron Queensland SUNBOWL. The Gold Coast Stingrays up against the Morton Bay Raptors. Current score is Stingrays 26, Raptors 6. Both teams just coming out to start their warm-ups now. Pretty dominant first half by the Stingrays. Raptors showing some glimpses of what they can do, but it's going to be a tough job for them in the second half.
Absolutely, Chris. I think the first offensive and defensive series for the Raptors will really give us a real good indication as to whether or not they will have the ability to get back into this game or not. It was very interesting to see at halftime as I went downstairs for a cheeky hot dog to see that the Raptors remained congregated together in the back left of the end zone, where a number of Stingrays players were dispersed throughout the crowd, saying hi to family, friends, things of that nature. So I wonder if that has anything to do with the second half in terms of the mentality that the game's perhaps done in the Stingrays' eyes versus a lot of fight left in the Raptors.
Yeah, that's going to be very, very interesting come those first two series, right? If the Raptors can come out, score, on the back of just being a little more focused, a little more determined on what they're trying to do, maybe that, gives a little bit of excitement to the defense. They get a turnover and it's a different game.
That's it. And of course, Chris, the humidity is going to start to play a factor. We are seeing a number of players getting stretched out on the sideline as perhaps a bit of preemptive precautions against cramps, etc. Our producer John's just rolling through, stealing red frogs left, right, and centre.
Red frogs, bottle of water. I think he's stolen some of your lollies as well. So,
as he deserves to do, he's put on a great production here. Shout out to all the team at Calling All Sports Brisbane. They do a fantastic job of streaming our games on YouTube, Facebook, etc. And they're always down to come down to the clubs and get set up and stream the games as well. So good to see.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been great working with John over the last couple of years and the team, especially down at Logan. The little hut they've got to stream from now, a little less precarious than the old scaffolding that they used to have to climb.
That's true.
But yeah, sort of back to this weekend's games. We're down at return to East's League Club at Stones Corner, Cooperoo, Camp Hill, depends on what you want to call it. For the first time, I think, in about 3 or 4 years, we've done the rounds, Sunshine Coast Stadium, Dolphin Stadium, East Rugby Union just down the road.
That's it. And on screen now, Chris, we're seeing the trophies that are up for grabs over the course of this weekend with the Junior SUNBOWL trophy, and of course the game MVP as well. So it's hard to look past Mason Fields as an MVP candidate for this game so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there is a whole another half to go. There could be another person who emerges as the front runner for that MVP.
Yeah, you're not wrong. A couple of game changing plays and we're good. We as we look forward to tonight's game, nice playing some Friday night football. I think this is in the future going to become more of a thing as
Thursday night, Friday night.
become more of a fixture, especially with the split season format that we have now. Playing through this January and February. I think we've been a little unlucky this year that the heat's been a little more extreme than it has been in previous years, or the humidity. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But I think Friday night football is going to be here to stay. It's just going to,
That's it. And I don't know about you, Chris, but I absolutely love the fact that our SUNBOWL weekend leads into the Super Bowl on Monday.
Absolutely.
What a fantastic opportunity for these athletes playing in the finals for the juniors, the women's, and the men's to be able to play their SUNBOWL, do their silly Sundays, and then go into Mad Monday with the Super Bowl party. It is a great time to be a finalist player.
Yeah, absolutely. You were not wrong there. So, in conclusion to tonight's game, we wrap up, and then we will roll into tomorrow, the 4 p.m. kickoff for the women's SUNBOWL, the number 1 seed Bayside Ravens versus the number 2 seed Logan City Bears. Following that game will be streamed on Facebook and YouTube. Following that, at 7 p.m, we have the men's final, the number 1 seed Bayside Ravens versus the number 2 seed Brisbane Rhinos. That will be live streamed on KO for anybody with a subscription, but I encourage you, if you're in the local Brisbane area, get down here, get down for the women's game. It's free entry, hang around for the men's game. It's going to be a good day of football. There's bar, there's good food.
So what more could you want, Chris?
Absolutely.
Good food, nice bar, great football on display from 4 p.m. right the way through. Get to see 2 of Brisbane's best teams battle out in the men's division over a number of years in the Brisbane Rhinos and the Bayside Ravens, who are looking to go for their 5th SUNBOWL win in a row.
Yeah.
Of course, Chris, the last time that SUNBOWL was played at Easts, it was yourself and the Thunder taking home the trophy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think you might be right there. Yeah. So the Thunder Wildcat hybrid side that got put together, led by QB Tommy Corwin. It was a great game of football, that one. There's been some great games over the last few years. Think of the Rhinos versus Ravens at Dolphin Stadium. We see the kickoff to the second half with the Stingrays to receive. Stingrays to receive?
Interesting. There obviously must have been a mix-up on the initial coin toss for the Stingrays to receive them both halves.
Yeah.
Unless my memory is just absolutely shot, Chris, and the Raptors received the ball to start the...
No, it's definitely the
first
Stingrays.
Yeah. Let us know in the Facebook comments if we're wrong. Feel free to shoot us some stick in there too.
Yeah, we'll get the
You're listening to
up,
a Kiwi and a Pom commentate on American football, so let's see what you got.
As I say, the Stingrays come in that 2x2 formation. Hearn holding onto the ball and pulling it down and trying to get round the corner. Does a pretty decent job. Raptors cover reasonably well, but it's probably going to be just short of a first down or just enough for one.
That's it. And it looks like number 46 for the Stingrays there, Alex Garcia, made an excellent block to seal that edge and give Hearn that edge there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to stitch you up on this question, and you're going to be held to it. Prediction for the women's game, score.
Very, very, very controversial, Chris. I don't love to give... I'm going to have to cop out of it because I don't give score predictions before finals games. I think it's bad juju. And either way, and it always comes back to bite you in the butt. But one thing I can guarantee, Chris, is that it is going to be an exciting game. I believe it's going to be a very competitive game, and I think it's going to be a game that's going to be entertaining for all the fans that tune in on Facebook, on YouTube, or get down to East Tigers Rugby League Club to watch it live. The Ravens are obviously a fantastic side with women's, with a good chunk of experience in representing the football. We have a number of rookies, as well as some veterans that have joined the team. I think it's going to be a close one. It's going to be an interesting game. Like all games of football, Chris, I think it's going to come down to who executes the best on the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And hopefully it's us, but whichever team takes home the trophy will be more than deserving.
Hearn dropping back, quick drop off to number 87, Mason Fields. And he's brought down with a 1 yard gain. This will probably be the shortest gain that he's had receiving the ball.
Yeah,
today.
I think you're right there, Chris.
So, nice. Did well to converge to the ball and wrap him up. I mean, I think you look to the men's game, it's probably hard to go past the Ravens.
It is, but I wouldn't discount the Rhinos,
No.
Chris. The Ravens are obviously, as we said, going for their 5th SUNBOWL win. They are an excellent outfit, led by quarterback Jared Stegman on offense and Peter the Moose Brewer on defense. They're obviously a veteran-laden club as well. Plenty of weapons to count. And speaking of weapons, we have Mason Fields with the ball again, down to about the 10-yard line, shakes a defender, and is finally brought down. Just
so hard to bring down, isn't he? Like, people seem to get hands to him, and he's just sort of shrugging them off. So, I think he's... I could be wrong here, but come from one of the sort of a decent rugby league prospect as well. That's sort of his background. So,
and not to put too much pressure on the kid, and to draw some comparisons between this SUNBOWL and tomorrow night's SUNBOWL. It reminds me of a young Warwick Bones Russell.
You're not wrong. Not wrong.
Hold it for a moment.
I wouldn't.
Hold it for a moment.
We're getting a breaking play now as we have the replay officials just getting a little look at the end of the tackle at the end of that previous play, just to see if there is anything that was potentially missed on the field.
Roll it back a little bit further, please.
Just waiting to hear from the official what they're looking at here. Maybe a face mask or a horse collar or
Possible face mask?
possible face mask. He's got the back of the helmet there, missed the face.
No, it's fine, it's fine.
And he gets the thumbs up from the video judge, Tim Redshaw, that everything's clean in that tackle. We can resume play.
Yeah, it's fine, it's fine. Yeah. No, you grab the back of the helmet, no helmet over.
Yep, so we'll see the Stingrays here pick up the ball on their Raptors 10-yard line, looking to put some early points on it in the second half. Hearn looking to keep the ball, and he's found a seam around the outside, and he will try and push himself over, and he will get there. I think you just saw Field make a block there, Shane.
So, and we do have a Raptors player that was just down a little bit after the play. That does look like young Hunter. His left shoulder kind of hanging a bit low. Wonder if he's going to be okay to continue the rest of the half. Could be a bit of a stinger.
Yeah. It'd be a shame to see him going out. He's definitely one of the sort of the heart and soul of this Raptors team. Yeah, a guy that you never see give up. Guy that plays on the line as well. You have to say, but I think you need that enforcer in your team sometimes.
I think if you don't play physical as a linebacker, are you even a linebacker?
Yeah, fair. See Hearn rolling out, and number
Just dropped.
37 Cooper Chapman just doesn't quite hang on to it. Thing is, just lost his feet from under him a little bit, and probably just made it a little bit hard to bring that ball in.
So we've seen Ashley Hearn extend plays like this all year, and normally he puts the ball exactly where he wants to receive it, the receiver to have it, and it's just slightly behind the receiver there, Cooper Chapman. Normally hits those on the money. But you teased in the first half, Chris, that there is a rumor, good rumor, about one Hunter.
Yeah, I hear a
Care to
rumor
share?
that he's got some overseas interest to go and play.
Oh,
But I don't want to. It was through the rumor mill, so I don't want to give away too much just in case it's wrong. But some good news to come out of that camp after the SUNBOWL, I hope.
yeah, so we'll watch and keep an eye out for that. I hope for the kid that he does get to go overseas in some way, shape, form, and experience football in another country. It is one of the great opportunities that football provides young men and women, is the opportunity to travel the world playing a sport they love. And of course, without this game, I wouldn't be in Australia with you now, Chris.
Absolutely, and it's a pleasure to have you here. So, as you said, a Kiwi and a Pom commentating an American football game, and we see number one here, Giovanni Stowers Almani, running some contact, still make some more yards, and keep going. It's a bit of excitement from the crowd below us.
So with the game at being 32-6 now, Chris, a 26-point gap, 4-score ball game. We really think the Raptors have to make a score on this drive to give themselves any hope of lifting that SUNBOWL when the final whistle blows.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, given their offense, it's going to be hard work coming back from 4 scores down, given that it's not while they're high scoring, not traditionally a big play offense.
So, well, they do have some athletes out there. Obviously we've mentioned Giovanni Elamani, Jet Jones, Samoa, who was there, who just got absolutely lit up by Patrick Knight, who is a phenomenal defensive lineman out of the Gold Coast camp. Normally plays 3 technique for them, but has been lining up a little bit more into that strong side end to perhaps trying to set that a little bit firmer for them against this Raptors run game.
I believe he's seen some overseas interest, or am I thinking of the wrong person here?
It wouldn't surprise me at all, Chris.
Yeah.
To be honest, he's got the build for it. He's a large enough human being. He flashes on film, and he's obviously flashing today in the SUNBOWL. And anything's possible for him.
Yeah, absolutely. So see here, 23, Giffen Papat back out there, making some tackles, getting excited about life as linebackers do. Stingrays have found an answer for that. run that Samoa run at the moment? Do you think the Raptors are going to have to try something a little different on this play?
So, like we said in the first half, Chris, the Stingrays are a great tackling team. They are a team that will chop you at the legs and continue to drive their legs through contact, which is exactly what you need to do against a big back like Samoa.
There's plenty of time to throw. He's gotten the ball downfield,
And that was targeting Jet Jones on a deep post there. Just a little bit off, but there is a flag at the end of the play.
I would say
this is either holding. Oh, we got it looked like an intentional grounding call. I don't know how that's a grounding call.
there's a receiver definitely out there. I mean, it might have been a little underthrown, but
Look pretty much on target. See if. Excuse me. It was a personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Assuming on the roughing the passer on the Stingray, so that should be a 15-yard penalty.
sure will be. That's a little bit of a get-out-of-jail-free card for the Raptors.
That's it. Hey, when you're on offense and you're perhaps maybe struggling to move the ball, you'll take the yards any way they come.
Yep.
Be that on defensive penalties like offside, pass interference, roughing the passer, etc. And we are seeing Hunter, number 11 for the Raptors, limp off to the sideline there. He does seem to be moving a little bit fragilely. But if there's one thing I know about it, he is tough and he is unlikely to want to come out of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny being on the field. Those 15-yard penalties seem like a lot bigger than 15 yards when you get
That's
marched.
it. And Samoa breaks the tackle here and gets out to about the 39.5-yard line.
So, there's a bit of, hopefully it's not a sore back, just pulling up his pants. But definitely the core of the offense in this game, run the ball hard. But yeah, as you said in the second half, he's definitely got some agility to that, to his repertoire as well.
That's it. And Stowers Alamani and the quarterback, Tuaf are both athletes as well. Very dangerous with the ball in their hands. We get the motion with Giovanni here. Perhaps we're going to get the QB keep the ball. And they try, it's just a little disconnected there, unfortunately. It was there for them to be had. Just unfortunately a slightly errant throw. I believe that the cue for the Raptors, Tuafa, is a bit more of a runner than a thrower, so to speak. Obviously very athletic. You do like to put the ball in your best athlete hands to start to play at this level of football.
Yeah, it just feels a little bit disjointed at times when they try and throw the ball.
That's it. It's obviously not the bread and butter or their go-to game. They're very much a run-heavy, physical, downhill, down your throat type team. But when you're behind like this, you do have to take some shots. So we're not mad at it. We do appreciate the coaches putting their trust in his arm and giving it a go out there. And we see there, again, a slightly errant pass on a slant flat type concept.
Yeah, fourth down here, I'd imagine at this point in the game you've just got to go for it. You have to back yourself now.
I think you have to, Chris. Yeah. And I think it's get the ball to your best athlete in space, and I think they need to find a way to get the ball into number one's hands here in a little bit of space. And we're getting lined up here at tailback in the I formation.
A good old-fashioned lead.
Perhaps, and that's exactly what we get, Chris, but the Stingrays defender does a good job of hitting the inside shoulder of number 3, the lead blocker, and really stuffing that run and getting the turnover on downs.
Great defense. Great defense.
It's exactly what you teach from that outside linebacker spot as a force defender. And I think that was Flynn Pelgan who made the play there on the defense.
Yeah, definitely lots of high-fiving and hooping and hollering down on the sideline down here for the Stingrays. So, they're pretty happy with the result.
Coach Keegan must be happy with the Stingrays' defensive performance thus far.
So Hearn under pressure, gets the ball off and will be incomplete.
And that's exactly what the Raptors need, is to continue to apply pressure. We know the Stingrays aren't just going to sit back and run the ball here. They're going to continue to be aggressive. They're going to continue to throw the ball. They're going to continue to run their offense the way it's designed to run. So they're going to have to continue to get pressure on Hearn and find a way to stop Fields.
Yeah, so they really actually haven't too many like some traditional running back, between the tackles type runs. It's really been QB keeps or sort of those dump offs to Fields.
Yeah, we haven't seen much in the way of speaking of Fields. We get him on a little hitch, and we get some Jordan in the backfield, and we get some.
Had a good view of that. It didn't maybe look like he was out, but my eyesight has pretty proven not to be great. So,
Completely, Chris. I'll be. And we got a flag at the end of the play there. Thrown by
there we can
umpire
see it as
Nigel Law.
Yep.
And he seems to be pointing at a few Raptors defenders, and Hunter does not look happy, so I suspect it might be on him.
As he limps off. Hopefully that's nothing too serious in the long term for him. So there's a penalty on the Stingrays. I didn't quite see the signal. Did you catch it?
It was an unsportsmanlike conduct. I just did not catch the number.
So that brings...
I think I heard 79 for the Stingrays there.
Ramu Williams.
Surprising. He's not normally someone who is in the unsportsmanlike book.
And we see that 2x2 formation that we've seen the Stingrays come out of. Hearn never really even looked like passing that designed QB run, and he's met with some solid contact, and the ball has come out.
I think he's down there though, Chris.
We're gonna
get a little look at that on replay anyway, but it did look like the ball was out late, or at least forward momentum had stopped.
It was a good, solid shot. Maybe a little high, but I'd say he's on the ground when that ball's popped out.
Looks like the ground causes the fumble there, Chris, which of course it cannot do.
The saviour of many running backs and QBs.
Of course, if I am the Raptors coach there, I'm probably screaming that he was up and the ball was out.
Yep, absolutely.
Trying to get something going from my team, even though I'd be well aware it wasn't the right call.
Yeah. So we're looking at second and about 5 here for the Stingrays. In that 2x2 formation, Hearn dropping back, looking for field on that slant route, and it is picked off. Found some space. He's still going, and he is brought down.
Yeah, he dropped the ball there, Chris. It looks like it's still Raptors' ball.
I just lost it behind the cameraman, so...
He managed to recover it whilst still on the ground. But, Chris, something to note on that play is that they were running out of time. They had about 3 to 5 seconds as they broke the huddle, so we saw the Stingrays offense really get to the line as fast as they could, snap the ball immediately.
Yeah.
Very rushed, so perhaps Hearn wasn't able to assess the defense correctly and just threw it to a spot which allowed the Raptors to capitalize. That is exactly what the Raptors needed. They now need to capitalize on this, put ball in the end zone, and start to build that momentum. And maybe could the Stingrays be in for another heartbreak year, Chris?
Oh, I mean, it would make for a hell of an ending, that's for sure.
And it would.
I think Hearn was looking for field. That slant over the middle was still open, or a bit more of a post route. But you see Samoa breaking tackles as he goes. Takes 1, 2, 3, 4 men on his back, and he's still up.
There we go. We see this is that we don't like to see that. It's the kid makes a great play on a SUNBOWL, has a little celebration, and he's flagged for it.
Really?
I don't love to see that, but I understand the official calling it at that point.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4. It just keeps going. What's the?
I think it's the fact it's directed at the Stingrays player that's the issue, as opposed to the actual action.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot worse not called.
Yeah, absolutely, haven't we all, Chris?
Yeah.
But as we said, it is the SUNBOWL, it is the finals. The referees do have to call these things.
Yeah.
I wish that one was let go, but it wouldn't be fair.
You could take it out of the the national sport or the state sport in Queensland and the state of origin. Go, it's a state of origin. Just let him play.
That's it, exactly. You have to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah. Was he ejected for that? Sorry, just hearing.
No, he's still on the field.
Oh, he's still on the field. Sorry. Official here was saying that he was ejected.
And
No, he's still out there, so...
I say the Raptors coach, I believe, is trying to get an explanation as to what happened there.
Yeah,
Oh, no, I think he is.
that is...
A huge shame for the kid. Yeah, I don't have much words for you there, Chris. And,
Yeah, I don't have...
And
Yeah.
you know, it's a shame that that kid is getting seemingly ejected on that penalty.
Was that for the second unsportsmanlike?
I think it might have been. But yeah,
I mean, to go out on something as innocuous as that as well is pretty rough.
in a SUNBOWL.
Yeah.
That's as the Raptors get momentum now. Let's see how they respond. But you know, again, yeah. But again, he put an official in a position where he had to call that flag by directing it at a Stingrays player.
Yeah, fair. So we'll
So
see here roll out and put in the QB, puts it on his back and things, and
Trying to make a play. Let's see who comes up
Stowers,
with
I
this.
think, might still have it. I think Stowers still will come up with it. But yeah, that definitely puts a bit of a dampener on the game, that's for sure.
It does, and it does give number 13, Bucky Nook Matthews, a shot in here at the fullback position. Let's see what he does. He seems to be a bit more of a taller, leaner body type than the stocky bowling ball that is Salmar. So let's see if that adds a different dimension to this Raptors offense, or if they try and adjust their offense a little bit in comparison. Doesn't seem like so. It seems like they are still sticking with this I formation.
Yep, they were. I mean, there's probably not too much variation they can change to,
So
right?
they hit the counter, he blocked outside, and he gets the first down. Would have liked to have seen him cut inside the offensive lineman there. I believe it was 78 for the Raptors. Could be wrong. Look at this on replay. 72. That is Darius Vialu.
Tell you what, if he'd made some contact, but just a tad more contact there would have been interesting if he'd sort of got around the corner.
Yeah, I think so. I think if he cuts inside there, he could go.
So we'll see here that it's going to be a second and short, about 2 yards. I think that was feels like a little bit of a rough spot there, but
Yeah, I thought he got the first down
yeah,
there,
well,
Chris.
at least he was pretty close. But yeah,
I'm surprised Salmore is still in the team area. They normally ask players to leave the team area when they're ejected.
yeah. I wonder if that's what the Stingrays coaching staff are now approaching the referees, or they're just coming out for water.
I can see here from here, Chris, that the kid is visibly upset. It's and rightly so.
Yes.
He's worked all year for it. For something like that to get in the way.
Like, if he'd done something egregious, I'd kind of understand it. And I guess I understand the officials have got to make the call.
Absolutely. But what after you get your first unsportsmanlike, Chris, you do have to really be on your P's and Q's, so to speak, to avoid putting yourself in those situations. And I'm sure that is something that the coaching staff of the Raptors did have a conversation with them all about at halftime.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it is hard not to be excited after you made a great play like that.
Yeah.
And,
That's definitely one for the highlight reel, right?
well, for sure, and it's
just cut it off. Just
just a shame. It was the celebration was perceived to be at a Stingrays player, which obviously classes as taunting and has to be flagged. But
yeah, number 36, Mitchell Goodman. Was it Mitchell Goodman? Sorry, maybe looking at the wrong thing. Coming off with injury. We will see third down here and relatively short for the Raptors, looking to convert here to get the scoreboard moving again.
that's it, Chris. I think with Salmore out of the game, they now need to really put the ball into number one, Elamani's hands, and see if they can make something happen.
We're starting to get a little bit of feedback via Messenger about the call. We won't go too far into it, but a shame of
look,
what it was, and we'll have to move on.
Yeah. If I'm a Raptors coach and staff member, I'm not happy with it. But at the same time,
Yeah. I can imagine what you'd be on the sideline, coach.
we saw some. Our video judge got a little glimpse of what that's like. Unfortunately.
All right, Steve, here, first down for the Raptors. Handed off, caught be brought down in the backfield for a loss of probably about 4 or 5 yards. Tough running for a smaller back. In that kind of territory. What I've noticed interesting for both the lines, their splits are very, very, very narrow. Maybe like the width of a foot.
Yeah, well, I think that's probably by design, Chris. They're looking to utilize the speed and get outside. But on that previous run, the Rays again are doing a fantastic job of setting the edge. Number 72 leads the way here. Get the corner. I think he just needs to get a little bit more vertical there, and that's probably a Todd.
Yeah.
But that's something backs learn with experience. I don't know how many years Giovanni Alamani has played. But yeah, you're really looking to run at the back of your lead blocker there, especially on that counter play.
Yeah, put your foot in the dirt and head back in field. So we'll see here. Looks like another timeout call. Not sure by who.
I think, Chris, now's a good time to thank our sponsors of the stream, Impact Sports, supporting Gridiron Queensland. They sell equipment, etc., all online, impactsports.com.au. And they do have a special deal, Chris, for anyone that wasn't around in the first half, to purchase a Shut F7 helmet through your local club at the same cost of a Vengeance. So, for anyone unaware, a F7 is normally in the region of about $800, and you can pick one up through your club for about $450. So,
Plus
great
postage.
deal.
So.
Plus postage.
Yep.
But
So get in touch with your Gridiron Queensland club to get in on that deal. And that benefit of going through Impact Sports is it does benefit your club as well with money coming back.
That's it. And the Raptors respond great with that fullback dive. Number 13 coming in to help replace Samoa.
Late flags, so I imagine there's going to be another unsportsmanlike throw in here, probably across the board, but we will see. I'm getting a nod from Tim Redshaw next to me, so but nice dive, just good solid contact on Denver Eastwood and run straight over the top of him for the score.
Bucky Noik Matthews will have to be happy to get across the line there, and it will give the coaching staff of the Raptors some confidence that their offense can continue to move the ball with Samoa dubiously ejected.
Yep. I think we'll see here that the touchdown will be scored, and then it will be penalties assessed on the kickoff here.
Yeah, I think we're about to see a replay here, Chris, and see what happened here. See if there's a potential false start. I did think it was live on 13, but I think it's going to be very close. I think if you're the Raptors or you don't have benefit of replay on the sideline, will feel pretty hard done by here. But I do think
Before the snap, I need a few seconds before the snap to see whether there's a false start.
So we're looking. The officials looking for a false start on the Raptors
on the
offense.
fullback. Yeah, number 13. It did look. I'm going to be honest, Chris. It did look live. It did jump a little, but it was very much close.
Yeah,
It does look like right on the snap.
Yeah.
It's hard without being able to zoom in.
I don't want to take a touchdown away from it. Like it's.
I think it's. We go back to that undisputable.
Can you show me that again, please?
Undisputable evidence to overturn again in a zoomed in view here now.
Oh, I reckon he's actually okay.
It is very close.
It's very close, but
To call it a false start, it's very, very close. It's
there's not enough to overturn it, though. I don't
enough
think.
to overturn the play.
Yeah. Oh, it's so close.
Yeah. So I think we're about to get confirmation from the referees that as per the video challenge rules, it does have to be undisputedly clear to overturn, and it doesn't seem like that is the case here. So I think the Raptors touchdown will stand, which will help breathe a little bit of life back into this Raptors offense.
Absolutely. I mean, I think this is one of those calls that, if you're the Raptors, go, it's absolutely a touchdown. If you're the Stingrays, it's absolutely a false start.
It's all about perspective, Chris.
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm on the Rays, if this was a slightly closer game, perhaps, and I was on the Rays sideline, I would be perhaps jumping up and down and everything else. But we'll see if they can get the 2-point conversion here.
See,
doesn't change much because it will still be a four score game either way. With the game now 32-12.
Yeah, Stow was there putting the ball down, touch high, but probably should have come down with it. Maybe thinking about the footsteps behind him, or what he's going to try and do with the ball. So I see the score being 32-12.
I'm going to think we're probably about midway through the third here, Chris. Obviously, we don't have a live game clock available to us up in the booth, but I'd imagine we've got to be about halfway through.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
So at this point, if you're the Raptors, you've got to be thinking about maybe onside kicking here. We haven't been able to stop the Rays offense besides that one turnover on the last drive. I'll be thinking maybe about onside kick here, and it does look like the Rays have scooted up just a smidge, maybe about 5 yards or so, just to try and sort of account for that.
I'd be looking at this the 45 down in the bottom right corner here, or bottom left corner here. Sorry, just chipping it into there, but looks like they're going deep with it.
That's it. It is fielded a little unclean. Okay, now can they swarm and get the tackle? Looks like the third, fourth, fifth guy in. That will be encouraging for the Raptors. Bit of a flop there by 23. Bit of a veteran move, and 2 flags come in. I wonder if they're playing to the refs there a little bit. Maybe LeBron James needs to take some notes.
It'd be interesting to see the replay there. And fumbling around with a bit, picks it up. And, good first up contacts. Didn't quite make the tackle, but good to see the rest of the that Raptors defense swarm in.
Yeah, we had the touchdown scorer get in that tackle, Bucky Nook Matthews, and Giovanni Elamani being the first one there as well. But it does look like it was a unnecessary roughness call on the Raptors, giving the Rays a free 15, which you just struggle to do in a game like this, Chris, where you're struggling to stop their offense. Giving them 3 yards is not a recipe for success.
Absolutely, yeah. Hard being the underdog in this scenario, right, and then trying to come back.
And we get a little screen here to Fields with a flag on the play. Jet Jones there in coverage, coming up making a nice tackle.
I'm not going to use the word sloppy, but the Stingrays' offense has tailed off a bit, probably since about midway through the second half, just with a few more flags, a few more holds.
I think it's hard to get any kind of momentum going, Chris, when the game has started to get a little bit, a lot more flags on the drives and things like that. So it's hard to continue to stay in rhythm, continue to keep the momentum going, especially for an offense that does require some rhythm. Yeah. Defense is a little bit harder to play, a little bit easier, I should say, to play a little bit more fragmented. But on offense, you really kind of want that rhythm, especially as a play caller, to try and sort of sequence plays together that the Rays really like to do.
Obviously, you saw a lot more of the Stingrays than I did during the year. Is this normal for them to really not run the ball, apart from sort of the QB keep? Or is it something they've schemed for this week?
No, they do. Against us, at least, they did run the ball a little bit more. They did run a bit more zone read game. But the Raptors, they are a physical team. They are used to playing the run. When you practice against your own offense week in, week out, and one that is very run-heavy, you become very good at those skills.
Yeah, fair. And
obviously, they don't play a very pass-heavy offense week in, week out, whereas the Rays do have that ability. I think that's really being highlighted today. Yeah. That the Rays are really just playing towards not only their strength, but are one of the Raptors' weaknesses.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that makes absolute sense. So you see the Stingrays coming here in that 2x2 formation. Hearn obviously changing some routes on the fly or thing. Hearn gets the ball, rolls out a little bit, finds some pressure, managed to make the man
And
miss,
we're gonna
and is
drop
hit
it.
behind, and a fumble recovered by the Raptors. Just that, since that momentum just starting to turn a little bit.
That's it, Chris. And one of the things Coach Keegan did say pre-game is that they need to win the turnover battle today. Okay, and with that turnover, it becomes Raptors winning that turnover battle.
Yeah.
You got to think that ball was out.
Oh,
The
absolutely.
arm was not calling for it, and
Yeah.
the refs rightly call Raptors ball.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt about that. You can see the quick view of the crowd there. So we'll see a change over here. What do you reckon? 32-18 going into the fourth quarter. If they can score here, what do you?
I think if they can score, get the 2 point, make it 32-20. It'll make for a very, very interesting fourth quarter. I think the Raptors are people that feed on energy. They feed on the momentum. They're a bit of a snowballing team that once they get rolling, they are very hard to stop.
We've been on the end of one or two of those snowballs, and it's interesting.
Absolutely, and we saw last year that the Rays have given up a lead before, which is very uncharacteristic of them.
Yeah.
Could,
Ta'ofa making a good solid run up the middle there. Sorry to interruption.
could they give up a lead again heading into a fourth quarter? They're going to be interesting to be seen.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the if there are any opens any old scars there from last year.
Oh, that's it, Chris. And many of the Stingrays players that are on the field today would have played last year.
Yeah.
So if that doubt starts to creep in, it's going to have to be on the coaching staff to rein them back in, bring them back to the present, remind them that this isn't last year and they have an opportunity to right whatever they want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to go with kind of a few cliches, it's, the Raptors have got nothing to lose now, so it's, just go hard and,
That's it.
see what you can do, right?
Okay, well, it looks like we're up to the end of the third here, Chris. Bit of a long time to change ends here. Perhaps there was about 30-odd seconds left on the clock, and the Raptors just didn't get lined up enough in time to get a play off. Probably should have pushed the tempo there a little bit to get the extra play, being down three scores. But big fourth quarter for them here.
Absolutely, yeah. It's feels like it's still very much in control of the Stingrays, being a 20-point game. But football's a funny thing.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the Rays do on offense their next drive. Do they kind of come back into their shell a little bit and look to run the ball?
Yeah.
That we've seen them do. Or are they going to continue to try and throw the ball? We've seen them drop back to pass on each pass of the two drives, and it's resulted in 2 turnovers. An interception and then a sack fumble.
Yeah.
Are they going to continue to be brave to continue to try and push the ball downfield with Hearn? Or are they going to start handing it off to their talented running backs?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they've got to go to the ground just a little bit, just to keep the that Raptors defense honest, because they're probably starting to just drop those linebackers are starting to drop back a little more, just because there is so much pass coming through.
Yeah, absolutely, and it also milks the clock as well, Chris.
Yeah. All right, the Raptors in their 2x2 spread formation, throws the ball just behind him.
I think we're going to get a pass interference here, Chris.
You can just sort of held him back from the ball.
I think so. And we had it was a 3-by-1 formation, a little fade shot.
Sorry, my bad.
To the single receiver there, 1-on-1. Just have a little look. See, does the defender impede the receiver here? It's gonna be interesting. He doesn't turn back for the ball late.
He kind of pushes him off it though.
That's it. I mean, if if I'm the coach on the Raptors sideline, Chris, I am screaming for the PI, especially in this kind of scenario.
I'm happy with the flag for that, if I'm honest.
I think it's a hard one. I think if I'm the Rays again, I'm not very happy about the call. But if I'm the Raptors, I'm jumping up and down for it.
I mean,
And I think we get a false start there on the left guard.
I think when you come back and look at it, he was impeded from making a play on the ball. So, you can't argue with that too much.
Yeah, I think so, and it's fine with football, Chris. It's talented athletes on the field. That margin of ability to make a play is perhaps a little bit wider than it is in the regular season. Interesting to see that the Raptors get a false start there. Let's see if they can switch back on, execute, and get another score here and make it interesting for the neutrals here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. One of those coach-killing penalties, that's for sure.
And we get Giovanni, breaks through again. He bounces, and looks like he's going to get in this time. Great job.
Or are we going to see some laundry for that?
No flag. No flags
glad.
on the field. Great to see.
Yeah. I've seen a few of those of the finger going out in the air on the way through, just as it crosses the line, being called back.
Did see the look back there, but glad that the officials were sensible on this occasion, kept the flags in the pocket.
Nice big don't argue, and gets through, and he knows that he's done it as he's crossed the line as well. So,
and then he celebrates with his teammates, which is what it should be. We're all about celebrations, but always just celebrate with your teammates. Don't direct it at the opposition. Or anything like that.
And always return the ball to the referee.
Absolutely.
The Stingrays go for two here to make the 32-20 ball game. Bit of a mix-up. Stowers on the outside. Can he put the foot down and turn the corner? Not quite.
Okay, but it's still a two-score game. 32-18. 14-point difference. See, the whole of the fourth quarter to go. It's going to be a close one, Chris.
Yeah.
I think if the Raptors going to stop here, it could be squeaky bum time for the Rays.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very, very interested to see how the Stingrays offense is going to come out. They're going to put the ball on the ground for a bit, be it via Hearn on the QB run or, give the running back some reps.
So you got to be thinking as the Raptors here, as we said on the previous kickoff, do we onside this? Especially when you have this momentum now, you've scored, and you scored back-to-back turnovers. Do you go for the jugular here and try and get the onside?
Yeah, I'm still thinking the lower part of the field, sort of like the 45s, is if you can just sort of lob it over that inner line.
Just sort of, you're talking sort of between. So outside the numbers, just over the front line.
Yeah.
But we see that the Rays have shifted up now, so they're obviously aware of that. They're on the lookout for this onside kick now. Let's see if the Raptors do kick it deep or do try and recover an onside kick.
Oh, they're going bit of a Poochie type kick.
That's it. It's gone through the legs. It's in the hands of Fields, who we know is dangerous with the ball. He's broke one tackle, broke two, and just steps out at about the 32-yard line.
Gotta wonder how Fields, I think maybe in that 16 to 17-year-old age bracket. Imagine he'll be getting a tap for the state team.
Oh, absolutely should. I'm sure Coach Brendan is watching this game with a notepad in front of him, taking notes of the numbers of players on both teams, offense, defense, people that can contribute to both sides of the ball, and on special teams, for when those letters go out in about 3 weeks' time for national tackle football tryouts.
Fields on the motion, hand off to the running back, finds a little lane after breaking the first tackle, and will gain, I guess, about 2 yards.
And we got another flag. I did see two Raptors collide. I wonder if the flag is perhaps thrown for that, as maybe viewing it as
Yeah, just I'll come back and just look at the replay here.
No flag on the play. I think they realised it was a friendly fire.
He did well to break that first tackle, just putting the foot down and keeping himself upright. As I maybe looking at that sort of a little bit of, Hunter, a little bit extra effort over as he went over, but I mean, good solid tackle.
Would be soft.
Yeah. But I mean, we've had a couple of those too, so.
Yeah. No, we see number 9 here wide for the Raptors, and the Stingrays look to counter. It looks like I think we're going to get a shift. Interesting, a late hit. Is he going to get called, or is he going to let go? He's going to get let go. I think they're going to get him for moving forward at the snap of the ball here from the motion man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. You see the Stingrays coaches on the sidelines, hands up in the air, blowing up. Understandable. I'd be doing the same thing. I'm sure you would be as well. So,
yeah. I seem to have number 9 on my roster sheet, Chris, but he's pretty wide. And that's sort of like wide 9, ironically, against the Stingrays, number 68, Cassius Prima, who's going to have to kick out to him in pass protection. It's going to be interesting to see if he's going to be able to get that edge and get to Hearn, or influence the run game in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it's distinctly, it's power versus speed, right?
That's it. And we see there the back helped, and it forces the QB to step up in that pressure. The Raptors have to be buoyed by how they're playing defense right now and the pressure they're applying.
That, that momentum, that,
the momentum,
the momentum, like there's just like the snowball effect of a couple of good plays, a couple of good things, it snowballs, and especially the Raptors teams are really good at that snowball effect.
That's it. And it is now 3rd and about 18, Chris, give or take. And it's going to be interesting to see, does number 9 get the pressure on them as well? We're going to get sprint out here.
Still
good angle. He
pressure.
is chasing him down. Hit as he throws, and we almost get the interception. And that is no surprise. Hunter won his can. Out there again in the mix of things, and now it is 4th down for the Stingrays. Another drive, offensive drive for the Stingrays in the second half. That is where they are stifled by this buoyed Raptors defense.
An interesting coaching change that you pointed out. That wide 9 defensive end, is really having a massive effect on the time that Hearn's got to throw. Even rolling out to the opposite side of the field, still chased down and hit as he threw.
I'd have to watch the replays, Chris, but I think earlier in the game he was the other side of the field against Wiramu Williams, who is a slightly more mobile lineman.
That's another fantastic bounce.
That really was a great Stingrays bounce. Probably add an extra 20, 30 yards onto the kick. But I think, he was going up against Wiramu Williams in the first half. Who was a bit more of a mobile lineman, so is able to kick out a little bit more to them, especially in the pass protection. Whereas number 68, Cassius Prima, he is a very large human being. I imagine he's fantastic in the run game, but perhaps struggles a little bit more with that speed rush and kicking back. And getting out to those really wide defenders.
And being a tackle dealing with those like wide 9 defenders, you've got to be disciplined with how you kick back as well. Like not trying to chase that D end out. It's just dropping back, staying in your area, and making him commit to turning upfield.
Well, that's right, Chris. And we know the Raptors do like to send pressure as well with the inside linebacker. So if they do start to kick really wide, that does give them the space for the inside linebackers to step up and hit. So the Raptors QB had plenty of time to throw the ball there. Not really much open. You can see he hitched a couple of times and looked like he wanted to throw the ball.
I tell you what, I almost expected him to pull it. There was a massive lane down the middle of the field for him to take off. It'd be interesting to see if it was there we can see it during the replay. Well, just a little bit before this, you could see the lane coming back down to the Stingray side of the field.
Yeah. We got about 2nd and 14, 13 coming up here.
The crowd definitely starting to get into it now. It's getting a little bit louder, a little bit more boisterous.
Sam, we love to see it. That's exactly what we want at SUNBOWLs.
Here we go, Raptors 2nd and 14. Dropping back to pass. Gets the ball out and is thrown into double coverage. Just trying to get a number there on the receiver.
I think the Raptors are panicking a little bit right now.
Yeah. There's still a lot of time left.
They're conscious of the fact they're down 2 scores. But there is the majority of the fourth quarter. There was the majority of the fourth quarter left when they got the ball. I felt like they could have continued to run their offense. And do what has been working for them the rest of the second half instead of trying to play this catch-up game and put the faith in their defense to get another stop.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you march it down, and then you if you have to panic and run a 2-minute offense, you do it in that.
But if you're the Raptors coach here, you got to find a way to get the ball in number one's hands.
You're only going to be good for about 5 yards there.
I think that was 2 Jets.
Yep. Stingrays defense coming up pretty well here. Raptors pass protection pretty solid. Got to wonder if the QB might have benefited from just dropping back a couple of steps as well, just to give himself a little more time and let the play develop.
We've got 4th and 10. This is going to be interesting. The Rays have gone back as if it is going to be the punt return. It does look like the Raptors are set up in that way. But we never know. Let's see what happens.
Yep, it is a punt, and it's
Bit
not
of
a fantastic one.
Like, get some past midfield out to about the 42.
Tough situation to be in. Like, you kind of feel like being the final, you've got to go for that. But, you don't make it, you're given the Rays pretty good field position to seal the game up. Yeah,
it's interesting. You drop back 3 times to throw the ball, and then you punt it.
Yeah.
I think if you're that gung-ho into almost abandoning your offense or your base offense that's been working for you for the majority of the second half, you kind of almost have to go for it there, right?
Yeah.
From a mentality standpoint, but understand them kicking the ball. Let's see if this Raptors defense can keep their offense in the game and produce another turnover.
Yeah, it's definitely Stingrays take a timeout. It's definitely going to be interesting to see if that offensive series is going to take the impetus out of the defense as well.
That's it. We see saw just before the timeout there that the Raptors defenders talking to each other, making sure they're all on the same page, geeing each other up, making sure they keep that energy. Let's see if they do the same thing and we come out of this timeout.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we'll see the Stingrays come out and looking really to score here and seal this game up. We'll see what will happen. Just cycling back through some of the announcements that were made on behalf of GQ in the first half. National Championships. Just interrupting, having 7:20 remaining in the fourth. We'll see this play. Hearn roll out, reverse to field with plenty of space. Throws the ball, and that is caught.
So I think that's the play we saw in the first half, Chris, where we saw a lot of pressure on Fields initially, and then that late throw.
Yeah.
So it's obviously something that has been in the game plan. It's been practice. They brought it out the second time there. Interesting, they went trips nub, so they brought the instead of having the receiver out wide to the one receiver side, they brought him down as a tight end. I thought that was going to be an indication for them to run the ball, but dialed up the trick play immediately, and you got to feel like that's just swung the momentum back in the Rays' favour. It's a heartbreaker when you get beat on a trick play on defense.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably trying to scheme away from that edge rush as well. Be interesting to see what they come out with here. 23 in motion.
It's a little shift.
There's a run up the middle. Number 40. Good, solid run. Gain of about 6 or 7. I mean, at this point in the game, this is what you want from your running backs. Anything over 3 or 4 yards.
That's it, and that's more the type of run game we've been used to seeing of the Rays throughout the season. Getting into 10 or 11 personnel and running that zone run game or zone lock, and allowing their backs just to really hit that, allow their interior offensive line to really go to work, and allow those backs to hit those holes that they create.
Like, you look at the Stingrays team last year, Caden Eastwood just carved up during that SUNBOWL, just running that inside
interestingly,
zone.
Chris, the Raptors have put their defensive tackles in double A's, and they still have those wide nines. So I wonder if the Rays keep running the ball like they have done here. With Hearn, it was corralled to the ground by Hunter, number 11 for the Raptors again.
He's been in it everywhere, hasn't he?
Yes, he's all over the ball, but he's been that way all season.
Yeah.
He is, when you're a middle linebacker, seems to be the play caller, seems to be the one who gets everyone organized.
Yeah.
you kind of expect that from your defensive leader.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I suspect we'll see the similar thing in our two Sun Bowls tomorrow, with Peter Moose Brewer for the Stingrays men's.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry Moose, for the Ravens men's, and Jackson Collins for the Rhinos men's as well. Not to mention Kelly Hopkins for the Bears women's team. And of course, Christy Moran and Dell, etc., for the Ravens.
I mean, I think you see it across the league, right? Especially in those in the defense and the linebacking core, you've got that guy in the middle that leads the defense.
That's it.
And
for those sorry, just to cut you off there, Chris. For those wondering at home why that turnover didn't stand, Raptors fans, the offense did false start, so it is a dead ball foul immediately. The play does not continue, which is a real shame for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at just across just about every team, there's that dominant guy in the middle.
There has to be there has to be you don't win championships without it. I mean, you look at the 49ers with Greenlaw and Warner.
Yep.
Two fantastic linebackers over there.
And the Eagles with no linebackers. That's why. You see the Stingrays here handing the ball off to 40, running into solid contact.
So his helmet has come off.
I think it's the second or third time his helmet's come off.
It looks like it's come off pretty easy. Perhaps he should look to adjust his helmet there.
Elijah Rivers.
For safety, not for swag.
Yeah. Yeah, because it'll be at least the second or third time that's come off. So
it looks like it was fairly easy.
Yeah.
To perhaps just the way he was hit up underneath his helmet, perhaps.
Maybe.
It just kind of looks to get caught on the Raptors pads there and driven up.
We'll see here. It is. Just trying to see the down counter. I've lost it in the crowd. There's second down and about 14. Hearn surveying where he's going to go with the ball. Straight to Fields, just on the little tunnel screen, and just continues to make yards, even through contact.
Yeah, that's it for sure. We saw a couple of Raptors defenders there, sort of like be in the space with them, just kind of sit on their heels and wait for them to make the move.
Yeah.
And it's what happens to you when in space, when receivers make moves all the time and you perhaps missed a few tackles on them.
Yeah.
They really make your feet slow. You need to keep closing that space, keep closing the angle, force them to eat. You want to eat the space up, force them into the decision you want, and own your leverage in the tackle, as opposed to giving them the space, giving them the time to make the decisions and do whatever they want with you. As Fields has done all game.
Absolutely. We'll see this 2x2 formation. Hearn dropping back, looking to number 23, who will go in for the touchdown. That is Griffin Pepeat. Has been a big figure on that defense in the middle, comes out on the offense and scores a tutty.
That's it. And guess who makes the touchdown making block, Chris?
I'm going to throw a wild one out there and say 87.
Correct. I mean, I don't think I've seen a more dominant SUNBOWL performance from a receiver.
Yeah, absolutely.
At any age group or code. I think he's had a phenomenal game today. Obviously, he can't do it without Hearn feeding him the ball. But Coach Keegan said pre-game that their offense will go as 87 goes, and they're showing that today. And you would think, the Raptors would have adjusted to that by now, but seems like they have not. And with the Stingrays converting that 2-point conversion, it now makes it 40-18. And that is back to a 22-point ball game, a.k.a. 3 scores, with less than, I think, 6 minutes remaining. It's a tall ask for the Raptors.
I think that their heads have dropped just a little bit. You sort of just see after the 2-point conversion, it's a rough position to be in.
Oh, absolutely. And I think we can point back to that trick play that they ran at the start of this series, that reverse pass. With Fields, once they got that, it felt like they dropped their heads a little bit. But I expect the Raptors to continue to play out the rest of these 6 minutes, play hard, play with a lot of heart. It's what we've come to expect from them all season.
Absolutely, yeah. No, just for the record, it's Mason Field, not Fields.
Excuse me.
Just before we get in trouble with someone. So we'll see the Stingrays kick off here. Raptors will be looking to, exert some dominance here, or hopefully, run one back. Stingrays special teams units traditionally very, very, very strong. So,
and you give them the commentators curse, Chris.
I absolutely have.
The ball went immediately out of bounds. So the Raptors will have an option here to take the ball from about the 30-yard line, or ask the Stingrays to re-kick.
What would you do in this position?
I'm always a fan of re-kicking. Asking the kickoff unit to sprint another 40 yards.
Fair.
After doing it back to back, and trust the athletes on my team with the ball in their hands. They're back there for a reason. So I'd have to put my trust in them.
Yeah, fair. Looks like they've gone the opposite here, and they're just going to take the ball on the 30. So while the huddle happens, quick recap. National champs for tackle for men's, juniors, and women will be going ahead in the at the conclusion of the GQ season and the other state seasons.
That's it. And letters for invite to trial will be out in about 3 weeks' time.
Yep, absolutely. Can tentatively announce the men's and the juniors will be playing games against New South Wales, Vic, and WA, which will be a hotly contested games across both things. Regional Queensland have their own team coming into the state champs this year. They will have games against South Australia and ACT. They'll be known as the Irukandji, the deadly jellyfish. Jellyfish? Yeah.
I believe so, Chris.
Yep. Problem when you've got a Kiwi and a Pom commentating an American football game in Australia.
I do believe it is a jellyfish. I remember having to Google it when it came out. Apologies, everyone. But yeah, it's great to see regional Queensland get in. Of course, the Reef Bowl's coming up soon as well.
Yep.
That'll be a great event. It always is. So there's some great football being played up in regional Queensland. Great to see them get involved in the national championships.
Yeah, the respect I have for those guys up there is the amount of travel that they do just to play football, like traveling 6, 8, 12 hours, to a game, and then having to do it all the way back and, still go to work on Monday and stuff like that. It's mental.
Absolutely. And Chris, we have to say this weekend is not the end of live football in Brisbane. We do have the National Flag Championships on the 4th and 5th of May at Ballymore Stadium. The women's trial date is February 17th, and the men's will trial on the 24th of February as the Raptors drop back to pass and let one fly down the left sideline, and it is complete for about a 20-yard gain. That could help buoy the offense, and maybe we're going to get a late spurge here from the Raptors offense. Maybe trying to get another score on the board.
Good throw by Taufa, and then nice step back catch for Jet Jones to come back and get it.
Let's see what happens here, Chris, as the Raptors put their face in Tuafa at quarterback to see what happens here. A little crossing route again to Jet Jones, is it?
It's 17. Darius G. Darius G.
There we go. Good to see that they're starting to move the ball through the air.
Yeah.
One of the things I'm really excited for next season, Chris, is the formalizing of the youth competition.
Yep, youth SUNBOWL, amazing.
Exactly. I can't. This time next year, we will have the inaugural youth SUNBOWL. I'm hearing rumors, Chris, that there potentially may be some more youth age groups down the line, depending on participation, being from under 13s, 12s, 11s, 10s, maybe even under 9s.
Yep, no, it's a distinct possibility. It's all about growing the game at that level and getting kids in helmets and pads and playing football. Great run, great patience there, running behind the big man, number 72.
They've really had some success running that counter behind number 72 as the puller. Yeah. Be interesting to see now with the ball on the right hash if they go back to it on the left-hand side and let Giovanni really attack the space.
Absolutely. Yeah, excited to see how the youth competition goes. Like, especially like the Raptors, the Bears, the Stingrays that very much started that whole youth football movement and seen it grow and grow and grow to now come to like a formalized competition.
That's it. And I think starting a youth program for anyone that wants to grow or develop a club or establish a new club, starting with the youth is really the way to go. As we've seen with these two teams here, a lot of these players would have started in the youth leagues and progressed up through. And we've seen it with the Stingrays as well. They've and just been told there is 1 minute 51 remaining in the game, Chris. So we must have missed a 2-minute warning. But yeah, so we really establish the youth program, build that up, get them up into juniors, and then eventually up into the men's. I think trying to grow a club through just a men's program is very backwards. It's hard to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you can really build that foundation of the youth team, by the time they ever get to men's or women's, they would have had 6-7 years playing experience. The quality and the standards of the games we would see would skyrocket, which of course then attracts more sponsorship funding, etc. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean that's a huge thing. It's like I couldn't imagine being able to start playing the gridiron at like 9 or 10 years old.
That's it. That's what they do in the States, Chris.
Yeah.
And eventually it's what's going to be available for our aspiring athletes here in Queensland.
Okay, so Tofa dropping back, throwing a nice ball, and he's brought it in. Great catch.
That is a phenomenal catch. The degree of difficulty to catch that ball the way that they did is phenomenal.
Yeah, I thought
we normally coach them to turn and high point that, but to look backwards and then cradle it in is just crazy. I mean, it's unconventional, but a hell of a play by the young man.
Looking back over the other one shoulder and catching it over the other is an interesting technique. Darius G with a catch.
He's made a couple of plays this half.
Yeah. Feed the man.
That's it. Let's see if the Raptors can punch one in to close out this game. And we see a lead here with Giovanni Alamani here. Let's wonder if they're going to take any timeouts, perhaps preserve some clock to give an opportunity. And they do.
Yeah. I don't particularly want to go back to it, but you've got to wonder how much effect Samoa being ejected from the game played in just in a few bits and pieces.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a talking point, Chris. I don't think it's had that much of an impact on the outcome of the game. Thankfully, I would hate for that to have been the sole difference maker. The Raptors have still been able to move the ball without him. I think I just wonder, Chris, if the Raptors offense was able to move this ball this way in the first half, it would have been a very different game. Yeah. But it could be a testament to the Raptors really wearing down that Stingrays defense and getting more and more success as the time goes on.
Absolutely. But it'd be good to see them get another touchdown on the board here. And we'll see here, just come in, just short. So I think we'd probably be looking down around the minute mark that we have remaining. So, this is the first of the 3 games that we have this weekend. So, get down here for the Women's SUNBOWL at 4 p.m, stay for the men's. Great little venue down here at East Leagues Club.
So
the Raptors trying to
pile it over,
and they get it.
Great job. And that is a testament to the Raptors team, the Raptors coaching staff, their fans, their club, their culture, being able to close this game out in the manner that they have here, in scoring at the end here to really make it continue the fight to the end is what I'm trying to say. I was just trying to work out what the ref's doing there, just signaling as the medic just before this 2-point conversion here. Yeah,
just temper's just starting to boil over just a little bit on the field there. It's been definitely a physical game between two physical teams.
Oh, absolutely, and I think in finals football it's a different brand. Everything goes up a level.
Yeah.
Emotions run a little bit higher. You're playing for your family. You're playing for your club. You're playing for your community. Everything's on the line. Everything you've worked so hard for since back in July or June when preseason started. Training two to 3 nights a week. You're in the gym. You're doing all the extras. You're watching the film. For it to culminate on the field, it is very hard to play subdued.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that it shows the hard work that they have put in throughout the season, both teams, to make it to where they are.
That's it, and it's. I think I can comfortably say that I think the two best teams made the final in the end when all things came out in the wash, and we look at results over the course of the year. These two probably performed over the course of the year, shown why they should be here.
Yeah. Be interesting to see with the Raptors squad how many sort of age out into the men's team. Given the average age looks to be fairly that sort of older teenager.
So we get the fake fullback cat dive, just incomplete there. So the score remains 40-24.
I think the Stingrays team, I think all relatively young. I think it was only Hearn's first season in juniors last year, so he's got another couple of years under his belt to go.
Well, we know the Stingrays junior team is a absolute juggernaut in the division, and I hate to beleaguer the point, Chris, but it is a testament to the youth program.
Absolutely.
You see teams with solid youth programs that promote their junior, that promote up into their junior team, have success in this division regardless of age. We're starting to see that now at the Bears, and I know the Spartans have a successful youth program. I hope they continue to age up into their junior program that was reformed this year. The Rhinos have established a youth program. The Ravens, I believe pretty much every team in the league now, if I'm not mistaken, has a youth program.
Yeah, I think you're right,
in some way, shape, or form. Yep. Of course, the Ravens and the Thunder have a joint one. I would love to see individual ones next year.
That'd be great, especially with a true competition coming through.
Absolutely, bragging rights on the line. I think that's going to be.
I think Coach Baker at home is rubbing his hands together.
I think there's a lot of youth coaches that, I think they're the most important coaches in any club.
Yeah.
They're the ones that allow kids to fall in love with the game, allow them to enjoy the game, and everything like that. And they're the ones that will allow us to grow the sport, that keep the game fun and interesting for the kids. If we can get them hooked at an early age, we can keep them throughout their athletic life cycle.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with the more and more pathways through things like End Zone Academy, the opportunities are available to get over and play overseas and get into colleges and high schools in the States and that type of thing.
That's it, Chris. And there is actually now a GQ fund that has been set up, the Gridiron Future Success Fund, which is available for our...
We have the onside kick here, recovered by the Stingrays.
That's it. I'd imagine the Rays will kneel this out and it should be game over. But as I was saying, Chris, there is the Gridiron Future Success Fund available for flag and tackle athletes to support our players through various exit pathways, be it into college, into professional leagues, and now with flag being in the 2028 LA Olympics, obviously Olympic pathways as well.
Yeah.
And of course, there's also the Women in Gridiron Fund, which will help us deliver and engage programs for young women. Both of which, as we said, are available on asf.org.au, which does allow the potential of a tax write-off, as Coach Keegan for the Stingrays gets drenched in the Gatorade or ice water that we have here, as the Stingrays take a knee and are crowned SUNBOWL champions. And you can hear the eruption here in the stands. You can see, obviously, they're very, very ecstatic with their win. The Raptors should hold their heads high. They played a fantastic game. The second half really came to light for them. Their offense was starting to move the ball. Their defense did well in the third quarter, generating a couple of turnovers. But the Stingrays, the experience there was perhaps a little bit too much, and gave them the Raptors a bit too much of a hill to climb from their lead in the first half.
Absolutely. I have to duck down to for the post-match ceremonies. Thank you for joining us this evening. My name's Chris Bradshaw. Shane Prosser alongside me. He's going to fill in for a little bit while I make my way down there. Thanks,
That's
guys.
it. You absolute lucky people. Just get to listen to me ramble on in my musings at the end of the game here. We thank the officials for officiating tonight's game. I think for the most part they got a lot of calls right. There was obviously the dubious ejection of Lennox Salmoa, number 3 for the Raptors in the third quarter for a second unsportsmanlike penalty. I'm of the view that it was very harsh, but it is the SUNBOWL. Just can't give the referees opportunities to do that to you. One of the unique things that we do here at Gridiron is that we seem to always line up at the halfway line and ensure we shake our opponent's hands at the end of the game to wish them well and thank them for a great game and for a great competition. It's a great sign of sportsmanship. As you would have heard me say earlier in the production, that the Gridiron community we're very tight-knit. It's not just at the club level, it is at the league level as well. And I do encourage you in any way, shape or form to get involved with your local club or your local league, whether that be in a flag or tackle perspective, as an official, as a volunteer, a photographer, as we have down on the field. Any way, shape or form that you can. I'm seeing some comments around that we're not fans of the officials tonight and that they were the Rays MVP. I do think they were, for the most part, they got most things right. One of the benefits, I think, of having an 8-man crew, definitely got a couple of calls a little wrong. I don't necessarily agree with the ejection, but I think for the most part they did okay. I think both teams should be happy with the performances they put out. Great to see these young men get out there. I hope to see many of them in the state program in the next couple of weeks as we move into national season for tackle and flag. Again, just a reminder that we do have the national flag championship, state championships on the 4th and 5th of May at Ballymore Stadium, and trials for the ladies will be the 17th of February, and the men's trials will be the 24th of February. And we also have the tackle football finals coming up as well. The state championships that Queensland are currently state champions for, national champions for, thank you. Coming up, there are letters going out in the next 3 weeks as invitation to trial. So keep your eye on your emails for those. That will be for juniors, men's, and women's. Of course, the men's are very much looking forward to playing WA and, quite frankly, shutting them up, which would be wonderful. And as a reminder, a thank you to our sponsors over here at Gridiron Queensland, one of our partners, Impact Sports, for all your equipment needs. And as a reminder, through your club, you can get an F7 helmet at the same cost of a Shut Vengeance, which will be about 450 Australian dollars plus postage. I believe we will be going down to the field momentarily to our on-field reporter, Chris Bradshaw. As soon as we just get these cheers underway. I want to thank you all for tuning in. As we do have the women's SUNBOWL tomorrow kicking off at 4 o'clock. So do get down to East Rugby Stadium to view that in person. But if you cannot, it will be streamed on YouTube. And then we have the men's SUNBOWL final between the Bayside Ravens and the Brisbane Rhinos at 7 o'clock here live from East Langlands Park, Totally Workwest Stadium, or live on KO at 7 o'clock. We see on the field that the Rays and the Raptors celebrating. Both teams can be very, very proud of the performance they put forth today. It's not easy playing finals football. And we're going to go down to Chris on the field.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the post-match presentation for the Juniors SUNBOWL for 23-24. The Stingrays with a strong victory over the Raptors. Hold on. Over the Raptors in a really tough fought and physical game. Thank you. I'd like to get the Raptors head coach to come forward and say a few words. T. Just look at the camera up with the laptops on. What did you make of the game tonight?
Tough. Tough. I knew Stingrays were going to be tough. They've been tough all year. And pulled some tricks out that I really didn't expect. So it was definitely a challenge.
You've got to be proud of the effort and the fight back, especially in the second half, finding a way to stop the Stingrays offense for quite a few drives.
Yeah, we realized a few things in the first couple of quarters and made some adjustments, and that sort of worked out for us. But we realized too late. I wish we kind of come to that conclusion a bit sooner and then would have had a closer game. Still happy though.
That's good. Any final words?
No, congratulations to Stingrays. Good organisation, you guys good grassroots, everything from the bottom up. It's awesome. It's awesome to see something we aspire to. We're a pretty young club, so and I'm really super. I can't even say how proud I am about with these boys. A whole bunch of rookies, and I'm just super proud of them. Thank you.
I'd like to now call forward the head coach of the Stingrays. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
What did you make of the game tonight? Did it all go according to plan?
I wouldn't say it did at all. I want to give full credit to the Raptors straight away. They're a bunch of dogs, man. I got nothing but respect for each and every one of them. They gave us a hell of a game, hell of a fight. It's a great game, man, both ways, back and forth the entire time. It's a great game all around, yeah.
Did you scheme to not really run the ball much against this sort of big Raptors side? Because you noticed sort of in the box that there wasn't a lot of traditional, running back up the middle type runs.
Yeah, most definitely. It's very hard to run against that big defensive front. We prefer our lateral running game and quick game in the passes.
Yeah, nice. Any final words?
I'm just unbelievably proud of all my Stingrays here. They worked so goddamn hard for this the entire year. It was a devastating loss in the finals last year. It was a long preseason. They all worked long and hard, and each and every single one of them earned this and deserved this, and I'm so proud of each and every one of them. Yeah.
Thank you. Congratulations. So we've got two things left to do. The first being the Junior SUNBOWL MVP for 23-24. Really could have gone to a couple of people, but this goes to a guy that caught a bunch of balls, made some tackles, a couple of blocks, and even punted. It would be number 87, Mason Field. Happy with how that went?
Yeah, no, it turned out the way we wanted, so yeah, couldn't be happier.
That's good.
Is there anything you can't do? That was a question from the commentary box.
I can't catch 2-point interceptions, so
We did notice
I gotta work on those.
We did notice that.
Yeah, that's poor.
Congratulations, mate.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to now call forward the Stingrays captains to receive the SUNBOWL. Congratulations, your 2023 SUNBOWL champions for the juniors, the Gold Coast Stingrays.
Congratulations, everyone. Thank you for the turnout. It was a great competition. And congratulations to Gold Coast Stingrays, champions once again. Compared to the Morton Raptors, you guys came out in that second half and turned it around. Looking forward to some more games tomorrow. Appreciate all the crowd. Thank you again.
Okay, everyone, that is our Junior SUNBOWL trophy presentation. Once again, congratulations to the Morton Bay Raptors and your 2024 Junior SUNBOWL champions, the Gold Coast Stingrays. I've been Shane Prosser. You've had Chris Bradshaw on the mic with me as well. Big thank you to all of us, including Calling All Sports Brisbane, for tonight's production. We will be back with you tomorrow at 4 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time for the Women's SUNBOWL between the number 1 seed Bayside Ravens Women's versus the Logan City Bears Women's. You will see a familiar voice on the Logan City Bears sideline, yours truly. And that game will be followed by the number 1 seed Bayside Ravens men's team against the Brisbane Rhinos men's team at 7 o'clock, live from East Tigers Langley Park, Totality Works Stadium, or live on KO. Thank you. I've been Shane. Have a great night.